Oh, we're back. We're back.
Like when you say weak, how weak?
Like,
out of shape, I
shape.
think is what he means.
I think we have to do the intro again.
Okay.
No, we just pick up from here.
right here.
Like if you were to describe yourself as shape, what shape would you be?
What do you mean? In terms of fitness?
Oh, shape. Like a geometric shape, like a sphere, a cube. It could be 2D, 3D.
I'm Jupiter.
So yeah, moons.
Yeah, he has orbiting
Your,
satellites.
your influence is so great that we orbit you.
Mine's more of a blob where it doesn't really take a shape as much as it just. It's like a liquid where it takes the form of whatever container it's in.
Yeah.
That's actually very important too. Like you can like sneak into any crevice.
I'll
Yeah,
refine
but
my answer and say gelatinous
Worse,
blob.
because I have a skeleton which holds it in a rough shape already. Everything else just droops off of it. Are we
You know, like,
recording?
people
are,
who,
are
like,
we
get-
starting?
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, let's do that
All right,
then.
go for it.
All right, once again, even though you don't know what that means, welcome to another episode of Verbal Laxative. I'm Jason.
I'm Hassan.
Sinsen.
Brian.
Sorry about that. We've had technical difficulties for the past month. We're still having some right now. So
What you're listening to is utter crap.
but at least we sacrificed ourselves for you. We recorded 5 minutes before it fucked up when we were doing this session, and
It was like the best thing.
Brian went on for 5 minutes for tumbleweed. So I'm glad we got that out of his system, and you don't have to hear that, you the viewer.
Yeah,
Yo, they're gonna be like, oh man, I want to listen to Tumbleweed.
I didn't make it through it. That was the sacrifice. It was literally just tumbleweeds. Like there's no hidden meaning behind it. It's just the plant.
Why do you assume everything I say has hidden meaning?
No, it was just the plant.
Yeah, it was just a flat. Most people take it for granted.
It was one
Take
of
it
those.
for granted.
It was one of those things
Did
where
it do anything?
it was one of those things where
They cause traffic jams. They're an annoyance. It's an invasive species.
I don't think it will be that big of a deal from where we are at. I don't even know if it's like even a big deal where it's in those places where it's like just prevalent.
Farmlands and stuff?
It's usually
It can
one
be.
lone tumbleweed.
It's kind of like snow. Like some people have to dig out their cars from the tumbleweed.
I can't believe we're talking about tumbleweed now. This is-
Well, at least it's more interesting than the first talk about tumbleweeds. Where if they actually have to dig cars out of tumbleweeds, it's probably not what I'm imagining, where it's like absolutely encased in tumbleweeds.
But it
and you have
hurts.
to like,
They're thorny and stuff. It's not like you could just pick them up. You have to like use the pitchfork and stuff. You can't use machinery because it's highly flammable.
Imagine the tumbleweed just tumbles through and starts like just fucking just shredding people as it keeps on going throughout the streets.
like razor blades.
Oh
It would
my
be.
god!
It's kind of like
There's your movie.
if it's like the ants movie, like the black and white ants movie, but you just replace it with tumbleweeds.
Wait, black and white
Which
ants
one's
movie.
black and white ants movie?
It's like a horror movie is where like you have giant
Not the
ants.
Pixar ants
Oh,
movie.
okay, because I was thinking ants.
Oh no, not that. Not the animal.
I think
one with his-
Ants was by DreamWorks or whatever. It had
Oh, like
DreamWorks.
Bugs Life is Pixar.
yeah, Bugs Life. is.
Okay, one of
But
those
Ants-
animated movies.
Ants was the one with what's his name? Jewish guy.
Jerry Seinfeld.
No more Jewish. This is gonna get nasty.
Woody Allen.
Yes, that's the one.
He was in Bug's Life?
No, he was in Ants.
In Ants. Sorry,
Yeah.
he was in Ants?
He was the main character, I think.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't a good movie. Bugs Life is way better.
They came out in the same year, didn't they?
It came out same year. Yeah. There's a lot of movies that came out at
Yeah.
the same time. That have like
Competition.
similar theme. Like what was the one with the asteroid coming to Earth?
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Then there's Deep Impact.
Armageddon.
Deep Impact was
Arnie.
more scientific than Armageddon, right?
Yeah,
because
but
Deep Impact.
Armageddon totally destroyed the box office.
Well, Armageddon was
as
weird
far as I
because
remember.
it was coming to Earth, and then Bruce Willis they blew up one of them, right? And then it broke into shards.
Spoilers for Armageddon, by the way.
And this like meteor that broke into shards had like homing beacons because they hit every like significant building, like the towers and like.
Oh, yeah.
It
And
was
they're
just
like,
by pure
we're
chance.
mostly water on Earth, yet none of it landed in the ocean.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm
then
sure a
Deep
lot of it
Impact
did.
is totally hit the ocean, where it should be. Like the likelihood of something from outer space hitting water is more likely than
Yeah, of course. It's not like
like a
You're-
tower.
You're
all the
missing
major
the point
cities.
of the scientific part of the drilling on the meteor.
Yeah. I totally did.
to
miss
put
that.
in nukes and everything. Like,
Yeah, that's a very American way to solve problems. Let's just blow it up.
Is that the movie where they train the
Yeah.
yeah,
drillers to be astronauts?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
concept was like it's easier to train a driller to be an astronaut than an astronaut to be a driller.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I wonder if they
good
got like a
times.
consultant, if they got like a rig, a drilling consultant. Would the movie be the same?
No.
What if it's exactly the same?
I remember watching it because they showed it in school once, like towards the end of the year or whatever, where we weren't doing anything anyways. And they show at the beginning, he's just like, when they call him down, he's like at the top of the rig and he's like swinging down off of stuff to get down. I'm like, what the hell?
No one.
It's ridiculous.
Never happened. Yeah. Yeah, OH&S or OSHA would just come down on you like a brick.
You know, like even like during Hurricane Harvey, Trump was saying that we should just drop a nuke in our
Yeah.
In the eye of the hurricane.
hurricane, the space, and
To make it
scientifically it
more
does make
deadly.
sense. No, it actually makes sense because when you blow a nuke, it disrupts the wind, so it gets rid of it.
Well,
Yeah, but there's also nuclear radiation.
the hurricane is
Well,
also
yeah, there's a
the
nuclear
hurricane is also like many times more powerful than the nuke.
and also the other thing is if you miss, it's catastrophe.
Even if you
Even if
hit,
yeah.
nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen to deter the hurricane, and yet you'll just irradiate the whole
Yeah,
place.
so it's like very ineffective, but high risk involved.
Yeah.
With Trump, he was like, we should totally do it. That's what solve it.
Well, apparently with you too. you can't just say, "Oh, Trump is so silly."
yeah, except but when Trump says it, people, he's the commanding officer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he's got the
people,
power.
People take directives from him. If I say it, no one.
Yeah,
gives a
thank
shit.
God. B Money is not in the office of power.
Just be like, yeah, do it. It'd be
Can you
funny.
imagine?
It'll make good content for my podcast.
Yeah, tweet Trump. I dare you, and then just leave him.
Oh God. Oh, what would you do? Just tumbleweeds. You probably just send the military just for fucking to fight tumbleweeds and shit.
Nuke them.
Yeah, you would nuke the tumbleweeds, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You trade the space Force for the tumbleweed.
Oh my God.
This
Yeah.
movie's building.
No.
Well, during the 5 minutes where it got erased, we were talking about the tumbleweed movie. So
Yeah.
It's okay. It'll be one of those it'll be part of the lore. It's like, oh, what did they talk about in those 5 minutes? And then people will have conspiracy theories. You can't, because it'll be like they can't possibly have been talking about tumbleweeds the whole time. Who does that? It must have been something much more sinister.
You know we've been talking about tumbleweeds longer this time around than those 5.
I don't want to title this tumbleweeds. Please say the thing. Say the thing.
if we title it tumbleweeds, people will think it's a boring episode. It's like cricket sounds.
Yeah.
We were talking about the other thing.
The other thing, shall we pick it up again?
Yes.
Yeah,
you-
sure.
Democratic primary.
Democratic primary.
Yeah.
We're talking about Transformers.
Buttigieg is out. Yeah, okay.
Buttigieg's out. Amy Klobuchar's out.
Your Transformers, you meant like the Megazord. They all
Megazord.
become okay.
Yeah, they all sacrifice themselves
Yes,
for the
yes,
greater good.
yes.
Tom Sawyer.
Steyer.
It's not Tom Sawyer.
I corrected you the first time.
I think Tom Sawyer is easier to remember.
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
Honestly,
'cause
it
Tom
doesn't
Sawyer's
matter.
an actual name in like freaking.
Can you imagine?
the
He's
old
like-
book with the thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Huckleberry.
Adventures of
Yeah,
Huckleberry.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, imagine Tom Sawyer's like, you know what?
It's also a Rush song.
He'll say, you know what? Just change my name to Tom Sawyer. I'm gonna get a boost in the polls. Then.
I don't actually remember what he stood for.
Who?
Tom.
Nobody knows.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't remember.
Right. So, anyways, they're sacrificing themselves, making it greater good, and then leaving the playing field for Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Bloomberg. Right?
Yeah, except they don't want Sanders to win.
Yeah, they rather have Bloomberg or Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloomberg or Joe.
And Warren is irrelevant. She's just staying for the
Yeah.
sake of staying.
Yeah, she is. Like I said, it was ironic back then. When she thought she was gonna win, she was telling all the Bernie people to vote for her because Bernie can't win, but like she'll embrace everybody, and if the roles are reversed, she would do the same. The roles are reversed now. She's not doing the same. She's just gonna drive the whole car off the cliff.
So they're all doing this for Super Tuesday.
Yes. Well, for the presidency, ultimately,
Right.
not for just for.
But like they could have done it at any point, but they chose to do it now, like to show their trump card, I guess.
I don't think so. I think it's like if Buttigieg, if he could have stayed in, he would stay in. But then, I don't know. Maybe his backers, because he has to worry about that too. Like the people that fund his campaign, maybe they're like, you know what? I think we're gonna go for Joe
See,
because
that's
South Carolina. I think if Joe totally fucked up South Carolina, he would have been the one that's out. But since
if Joe fucked up South Carolina, Bernie would have been a shoo-in.
yes, so but like Bernie's going to be like a shoo-in in a lot of states in Super Tuesday. So I think like the people that don't want him in there, they're like, you know what, whoever, just try to have all the votes on the one guy.
Because like I can't remember if did we talk about how Bloomberg was on the debate? Or?
Yeah. Oh no, we didn't because we had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Well, it was crazy because like at the time Sanders was leading and no one attacked him because everyone attacked Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Everyone just like let go, like they didn't even touch Sanders, and Sanders just won even more after Vegas.
To everybody else's credit, though, well, you can't. Bloomberg performed so bad. Like, even if they attacked him, his comebacks were just so bad. It was just like, oh about all those girls in your workplace that you know, like harassment. You had harassment controversies with them, and then you made them all sign like non-disclosure agreements, right? Why don't you let him talk? And then he's like, you know what? Those are NDAs. You know, like we've already settled this. You know, so they don't want to talk. It just made himself
even asked
sound
him
really
about
bad.
that like Frisk Act or something
Stop
like
and
that.
frisk.
Stop and Frisk Act, and he's like, you know, I apologize.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Yeah, you guys, you know, this is old news. You guys can't.
Please don't concentrate on this.
Yeah.
Please don't talk about this.
Yeah, you're running for office, but please don't look at my past.
But it's pretty I don't know, it's ridiculous that he just funds his own campaign.
It was that, and then I think in a part of his mind when he was getting just getting kicked in the nuts on stage, he was like, oh, this is why billionaires don't usually just put themselves up for presidency, because they have to go to these debates and it doesn't look good.
They don't know shit.
It doesn't look good.
Have you seen the money he spends on how he's like influencing influencers and making them create memes for him?
Oh, he
They're
spent
pretty funny actually.
a lot of money.
I read somewhere or heard somewhere he sunk like 500 million.
Yeah,
into his,
it was an unprecedented
Yeah.
amount, because there's never been that much money sunk in by one guy, just
In
doing
one
it by
guy.
himself.
Yeah.
So this is a time to see how this turns out. Like what, it's like that hypothetical. What if you had a really rich guy that just went all in just with his own money, and how far can you get?
Can half a billion buy you the office?
presidency?
The presidency.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So it seems like Jordan has life again,
Joden.
isn't it? Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
That's what his friends call him, apparently.
Yeah, he's got life. He's a fucking old bag, though, man. When during the time when he was talking during the debates, it just seems like he was just on a rant about, I don't know, fucking. It could have been about anything, like old people when they rant about fucking computers or whatever. He looked like he was going straight at it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, 30 years ago, I did vote on that act. What are we talking about again?
That is him. Actually, unfortunately, when you talk about Sanders, a lot of people's complaint is he's old.
Yeah, he's old as well.
It's like, yeah, but his wife is young.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Combined age,
Gotta give him props, man.
when they fuse.
How old is Biden?
Biden, I don't know. He should be
'Cause
about
Trump-
80 something.
Trump is like 74 now.
Yeah,
76?
Trump should be. Yeah. Trump is near 80. 74, almost.
Something like that.
Yeah. Sanders himself. No, sorry. Sanders is basically 80s. Yeah, Trump's got about 5 years before he's 80.
Yeah, I think Sanders is.
Biden is pretty much Sanders' age. I want to
Sanders is like
say.
76, and I think Trump is 74.
No, Sanders should be. I don't know. You can check it up. They're all fucking old though, and it shows. On
Pete
all
was
of
a young one and gay.
yeah, that was his.
I'm
That was
sorry,
his.
homosexual.
Sorry to all our listeners in that age range, by the way. We don't mean to call you old.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, I don't know what to say.
Oh, that'd be.
Thanks.
I'd be like, why? I'd be like, thank you, but why?
I say that about anyone who listens to this.
Why?
Like my grandkids don't see me anymore. I listen to these poor kids.
They remind me of my grandkids
Yeah.
that don't see
When they
me,
were
that
stupid.
abandoned me. So yeah, Super Tuesday. Once that comes out, then you'll see. Then it's a much more clear
I think we'll have a better idea of what's the nominee then.
front runner. But okay, but let me ask you guys this: Trump versus Sanders. What are the odds would you place on
Well,
who to win?
The thing is, we should need to ask is, can Sanders win? Because there's a lot of forces against him. Like
Yeah.
the Democratic Party is totally against him. Like I feel like the hands of the Democratic Party could prevent him from even getting elected.
Yeah, I think
nominated.
yeah, we talked about this last time where he has to go uphill against everybody.
I think
against
if
the tide.
Sanders wins, then I think he has a good chance of beating Trump. But
Yeah.
if anyone else wins, I would vote for Trump. I would rather see the world burn than have it be non-change.
If Sanders wins the Democrats, then I'm pretty sure he will beat Trump.
You think he will? You think he's got a good chance? Ah,
Because
yeah.
he will wipe the floor with Trump, man. When
Yeah,
it comes to
'cause
debates, imagine him against Trump in a debate.
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, because
see through Trump's BS, and he, like you said, the thing that really pushed him is how consistent he is. He has that grassroots behind him, right? So people who like Sanders it's not a bandwagon, and like he's uncorruptible.
I feel like people that watch it, the ones that the votes will matter, they'll just be fans of Trump and fans of Sanders anyways. So they'll just be rooting for their guy when they see it. They're gonna be rooting for Trump when he does his zings. They're gonna be rooting for Sanders when he does his, his tirades, yeah, against the rich. I don't know. I think it's a toss up either way. I think Trump has a little bit of the advantage because he's already president.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his entire party up against him. Like we said, like you said today, and like I said last time, Sanders has he's doing this with a handicap.
Yeah, I mean the incumbent usually has the advantage, right?
Well, he's got a handicap no matter how you look at it. Anybody that says they're going up against the rich people, they want to soak them. Usually they have a handicap.
Yeah,
Especially when the other
nowadays-
guy is a rich person.
Yeah,
I
nowadays.
just love the storyline though. Like Trump, he demolished the Republican Party
Yeah,
to become president, and then now Sanders doing the same thing. Like,
yeah.
he's not teaming up with the Democratic Party. Like he's standing for what he believes is right.
But you see, Trump actually just like killed his party, and then they just like surrendered to him. Sanders can't really kill his party.
No, Sanders
like,
not killing his.
The Democrats are, in a way, like the Republicans. They needed, like when they're fighting Trump, when they're like trying to fight some internal adversary, they can be really weak at it. Like they can collapse like a house of cards if it doesn't go their way. But after they collapse, they just coalesce really fast and hard onto whatever one guy,
Yeah.
right? They do that like really like fast. Like the Democrats never do that. Basically, they are much more feisty at fighting each other. But if they get defeated, they don't necessarily collapse. They just divide into a bunch of these like little fiefdoms that they continue to be worthless, but they don't capitulate and just combine with a single dude, give or take. I mean, even like Obama's time, that was probably the closest they came to coalescing around one guy. But even then, he barely got anything done, and he chose to take a really, really middle road approach. And I don't know. They're not gonna do that for Sanders. He's gonna be fighting against his own party, not even just saying Republicans. He's gonna be fighting against his own like centrists and anybody that's to the right of him in that party. Good luck to him. I can totally see them if they really. I don't know. I always think like it's not. I don't put it above the Democrats to just give him a heart attack if he's gonna win.
Oh yeah, no, I think the Democrats.
You think it's another JF Kennedy incident?
No.
Or Lincoln?
Well, I don't want to say.
Except they're just gonna have people pop out of bushes and try to scare him.
Yeah, try to give him a heart
With
attack
a
there.
gun.
Yeah, when he orders like his whatever ham and cheese, they try to load it up with a lot more cheese and shit just to get his cholesterol up. I don't know. I just think if something happened to him, we'd all start like looking at like Hillary Clinton and be like, I see what you did there.
I wonder if they like send his wife like cards like, we need you to tell him to do this or else.
I think his wife's with him though, right? But yeah, I don't know what. I think Trump has maybe a little bit higher than a 50% chance to win it. Sanders is probably the best one out of the Democrats. He has the best chance to win it just because of his base, but it's not that far fetched to think about another 4 years of Trump.
Yeah, no, I'd be fine with that.
It doesn't matter if you're fine with that.
Do you think
You really have no say in it. Though.
Bloomberg actually has a chance?
He is the other wild card. He is actually the wild card here because it's just that he's plowing so much money into it.
Yeah.
Right? Like and even though if he's shitty at the debate, that doesn't matter too much because very little people actually watch the debate, right? Normal people don't watch that shit. That's just for like people that are too into it or just fucking insane people or like people like fucking me, I guess.
If it's billionaire versus billionaire, there's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, like if you ever wanted to have like some kind of revolt in the United States, you couldn't ask for a better plot than two billionaires being the presidential
this is where
nomination.
Parasite will happen.
The Parasite will happen.
But I mean, what does it say about America? If there is a Democratic billionaire and a Republican billionaire going at it for president.
I think just the system itself, you can't say at that point you can't just say like, oh, this is fine. It's obviously fucked, exactly. Right? But it's the majority of people right at the bottom of the pyramid. They have to ask, like the rich and powerful have to ask, hey, can we still get away with this stuff, right? Because at some point you might just be hitting the envelope just way too hard. That at that point, these people at the very bottom base of the pyramid, they're just like, no, this is bullshit, no way, right? And then you should worry if you're one of the rich and powerful.
But the rich and powerful have managed to like brainwash.
Yeah, of course.
Majority of the people are saying that they don't want universal health care or anything like that because it's a handout from the government.
Yeah, oh fuck.
Like,
I think
the government when the government hands out to the corporations, it's okay. Like in 2008, they bailed out the automakers,
the banks.
The banks.
Yeah,
that was all good. That wasn't considered as a handout or a social, a handout to corporations.
Yeah,
all of the American automakers were ready to collapse.
Yeah. But it's the people that are doing the talking, like the news and all the business leaders and the media personalities and the politicians that were saying that's good. But you obviously normal people that got soaked by that, they're like, no, what the fuck, this is bullshit, right?
That's what I mean. Like that's how brainwashed the normal people are. That like it's okay to do that. It's understandable to bail out corporations, but when it comes to universal healthcare or government funding for families or below under income families or anything like that, it's socialism. Yeah, no, I think for like the normal people, they're starting to feel that too. That's why Bernie could get so much numbers. That's why even Trump got so much numbers back then, right? And he was one of his main appeals was like, he was against Washington. The establishment, right? Mm-hmm. That was already even on the right side of things. That appealed to a lot of those people, right, at the base. So, I think everybody there feels it, and everybody thinks it's bullshit. And this is the reason why all these establishment figures are just losing. They don't know what to do. They're kind of just like, what the fuck do we do? Like, send in more billionaires, send in more money? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm throwing money at this and it's not going away.
Are they losing? I don't know. I don't think they are losing yet.
I think in the long run, they're losing. They're definitely losing in the long run because it's like, if they would win if it's like everything is fine and there's no problems. They're losing because this is the beginning of what it looks like to lose because if the bottom base is like, oh, like what the fuck's going on? This is bullshit. Then the jig is up, basically, right? Their whole act depends on people just being complacent enough that they don't mind all of this shit happening, right?
Yeah.
They don't mind that all their livelihoods get eroded away. They'll work 2-3 fucking jobs and they still can't make enough, as they did 30 years ago on one job.
That's where I'm surprised. Like teachers in America
are working 2 or 3 jobs
Yeah.
in order to support 2 or 3 jobs as a full-time teacher, and then like a couple of part-time side hustles going on.
Yeah, you could tell,
They definitely have to work in the summer.
and you could tell like if you're these are the kids, you know that these are the kids of the future. If they grow up fucking dumb, you there's no way you can like try to like compete in the world, right? Or you can try
If
to.
you're rich and you control the world, you want kids to be dumb. Then you don't get revolt.
Yeah, but in a way, like, yeah, you want everybody to be dumb so it's easier to control. But
But
when you want,
where we're headed.
when you need to mobilize everybody to do something, all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, they're too fucking stupid to do this shit,
That is true.
right? So it's you know like
Hopefully that doesn't come.
long term is always bad, and everybody's not thinking about long term. The longest term that these billionaires are thinking about are probably like, fuck, I need to buy this island somewhere. So then if one day I need to fucking flee, I can go to my little
Their
island.
next amortization period or the next.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the really, really rich are always thinking like, I bet you Elon Musk, Bezos, and all those guys that are really, really rich and have billions upon billions, they're thinking in the future and they want to go into space to escape all of this. And then after that, you got like Wall Street rich or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about long term. They're just thinking about making money in the short term.
So here's
Right.
the thing I'm afraid of. In the Democrats, you have the word that buzzword super delegates.
Yeah.
So not all delegates are equal.
Well, that in 2016, that's what they used. It was basically like a rigged. It was basically like you have guaranteed delegates that would go for, you know, someone, and that was Hillary, right? So that's, and then Bernie was up against that, and then he was like, oh, okay, there's no way I can win, even though I'm pulling these numbers that no one thought I could pull against Hillary, you know, the star of the party.
So,
There's no way I can win, so he dropped out to endorse her so she could win against Trump. And then she got egg on her face. She completely collapsed.
So is this like the whole? Is this a similar thing to like the voting system? Like it's just even if Bernie has a popular vote, he may still lose, kind of thing.
No, well, yeah, like if popular vote doesn't matter too much, you need the delegates. But Bernie is getting delegates. He's the number one with all the delegates right now. He's in
Right.
the lead, right? So, like, and they
Well-
changed the rules a little bit, so they can't like blatantly have super delegates just go for one person.
Oh, I see.
Like at least the first round. Like when they get to the convention, this is all the delegates they're winning is all for at the end when they go to their Democratic convention or whatever, and then they tally it up and then they go through like a first round, second round, whatever. The first round, as if he has a very convincing majority, then that's probably it. If they go to other rounds, then that's when you can see delegates.
That's where they could
Yeah, you
use
get-
math against.
Yeah, that's when you can see delegates start to switch or whatever.
Because like even in the beginning when we did the Iowa caucus and that was a shit show, and
Yeah.
then they did the New Hampshire, and Bernie had won that. They were saying like he still had less delegates than like Buttigieg or something.
They were the same, the exactly
They
same.
were
No,
the- yeah.
he had less of the delegated vote count, but like the state delegated vote count or whatever. But translated into delegates, it was the exact same number of delegates. But he, you know, like he was winning the popular vote, and you
And
know,
if you Googled it, Pete was number one because by 0.1 or something.
yeah,
It was
but by that
really
point one,
ridiculous.
but yeah, but then you see, like they wanted to call it for him, and then they also just burned down the entire caucus,
But
right?
that's the best of when Pete called it and it's like, what? There's no-
How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know? No one even tallied the
Yeah,
results.
and they blamed it on the
Sometimes-
fucking app, but
Yeah.
it was already going on before the app was going on. Well, before the app became a thing. Like the Des Moines Register, traditionally, they always come out with a poll right before the Iowa caucus, right? And it's been a Iowa tradition. Every primary, the Des Moines Register comes out with a poll, the last poll before they do the caucusing, just to show you where everybody is. And for like the first time since I don't know when, they didn't, because the Buttigieg camp called them and got them to not do the poll for reasons that like he was saying the questions on the poll were not fair, so they should
shady.
pull it. So they pulled it. So already, like, you don't even have to talk about, oh, this is some kind of technical glitch. Like, of course they were trying to fucking manipulate it for the best outcome for them, right?
I just love the company behind the app was also called Shadow.
Yeah.
And people were creating this conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no shit.
Which is
Like, why
fun.
name yourself Shadow? Why don't you just name yourself Conspiracy at that point? Flaming Conspiracy. But I don't know. I think this segues into our broad topic that we were going to talk about. And it was inequality. And then it was all about It showed it. It showed in Parasite winning the fucking Oscars and everybody liking that movie, and it shows just in real life.
Well, I
as
felt
well.
like that director took so many swings at inequality. He finally got it right. Like every movie he has done up to Parasite was about inequality.
But he's like, some directors have that as a niche though, right? Like they hone in on one subject.
Yeah.
And-
Well, he does it a little bit differently each of his movies. Like some of them are more sci-fi. Some of them have a more like bright message. Some of them have a more bleak message. Parasite definitely had a more bleaker message.
Yeah.
Because like they did. Is this okay to spoil? I assume so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Spoiler warnings for whatever movie he's gonna talk about.
Well, it's gonna be Parasite. Like at the end of the movie, he talks about how he's making a plan to rescue his father, and how he's gonna work really hard and become rich and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the camera goes back to him, shows him like writing the letter, and you can tell that if they had cut it before that scene, that was like, oh, that's the happy ending, that he's gonna make it. But because it cuts back to him, it's obviously saying like, oh yeah, he's fucked. He's not gonna make it. And that was great. I was like, oh yeah, it's just trying to show you that, like once you're a shoe, you belong on the foot. Like you can't get to the head of the train. This is his references of it.
I was like wondering what the
Snowpiercer.
fuck is this from? What is this saying from? I've never heard of it.
Oh, Snowpiercer. I was like,
No, yeah, Snowpiercer. I remember
The
that.
poor lives on the tail end.
Yeah, and then the rich lives on the
And
head.
she was giving a speech about a shoe doesn't belong on your head, belongs on your foot, and you should know your place and stay in your place.
Yeah, I saw that movie. I don't remember that. Cool.
It was good. It was good. It's very inspirational.
If you've seen
If you're complacent and you're
Snowpiercer.
poor.
No, well, if you've seen Snowpiercer too, because
Yeah.
you tell that to a poor guy, they're like, what the fuck are you
Which
talking
is on Netflix. So if you haven't seen it, you can watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, shilling for the flicks.
Yeah,
Netflix.
shilling for
Depending on which
Um,
Netflix zone you are in.
Oh, I guess country. They took that away, which was kind of
I don't
annoying.
know why I said Netflix zone when I meant country.
Well, back then.
Well, they're now known as Netflix zones. The
Remember
North
back then,
American
like,
Netflix zone.
You could spoof your IP and stuff. I mean, you can still do it now with VPN, but it was a lot more easier. And
Yeah.
they weren't so harsh on it.
Yeah.
And now they're really clamoring down. Like for example, I was in the US and you could download movies on Netflix, but then when I came back to Canada, I couldn't watch them because
Owned.
You download it
Yeah,
there.
because it's on net.
well,
it's
if
on
I turn
Netflix,
off
not
my
your computer.
internet, then I can watch it because they can't tell where I am.
Yeah.
But if I have my internet on, then I
They
can
won't
watch
let
it.
you watch it.
Yeah, I
huh?
was like, oh, this is a stupid region. It's like the PS3 days.
Yeah. Well, they are in the Democratic primary for the American Netflix zone, so they'll all be known as streaming zones instead of countries.
It could happen in the future. I mean, the way America is going with the corporations and businessmen becoming presidents, then I mean, businessmen becoming presidents is not a far stretch that corporations are.
There's a lot of dystopian sci-fi that has that theme. That it's just like everything's privatized in the future. Everything. It's a company rules everything,
Yeah.
right?
It won't be America or Canada or Europe. It'll be Netflix Zone 1, Netflix Zone 2, Netflix Zone 3.
Yeah, that'll be
That's
like
only for the Netflix zones.
yeah. Then you have
Other
the
than that, you'll
Amazon
have
zones,
your Amazons and
Yeah.
your freaking.
the Disney zones.
Yeah.
It's just spread up like the.
Ooh, I want to live in the Disney zone.
Oh fuck! What if? Yeah, you think it'd be nice, and then one day like the
No, I know
Netflix
it
zone
won't.
just bombs you.
I'm just saying because
Terrorist
Disney
attack.
has like the most aesthetically pleasing zone.
Imagine that, like, instead of wars between countries, it'll be like Netflix declares war against Amazon or something.
I mean, they're already doing that.
It'll be like a buyout. That's
Yeah.
how they win.
Because you look at companies, right? They don't stay in their zone, right? Like you think of Amazon, they're in the shipping business but that's not just what they do. They do like web service, right? Like that's where they make a lot of their money. They sell cloud service,
Yeah.
and they're also in groceries. And so like when a company becomes this big, they can control the market because with grocery, for example, they can make a losing profit in their grocery and subsidize it with their revenue from other silos, right? And then they can undercut all other grocery and then forces them to lower their prices. It's kind of ridiculous that we allow companies like Amazon to be in the grocery business. Like,
Well, it's because overall they have like lower prices on what we normally use them for. So it's like I'd rather shop on Amazon than go to a Walmart to buy something.
Of course,
Right,
because
but
they
cheaper.
control the logistics. But yeah, that's why they can get in on that.
if we're all just I understand why we're like as a consumer, why we're incentivized with lower prices. But if we continue this trend, we're just fueling these big companies, right?
Well, it's all big companies, anyways. Like I just mentioned, two big companies, Amazon and Walmart.
They're all big companies, and the question is like companies like social media, like it's like or YouTube, for example, where they're getting so many uploads and videos and stuff. You need a really huge company to manage all this system, and like social media, you have to control like privacy and all that stuff. And then there's arguments, well, if companies aren't that big, there's no possible way they can protect us or whatever, right? And so there's an argument against that too, like that companies need to be big nowadays to run the things that we have today, like social media and or social media is the big one, really.
Yeah, but obviously it's the same thing. They always have it's always been the same old monopoly fears when you have a big company running everything, and that's actually what it's supposed to do. Like at the end, with the way everything is, the successful company gets even bigger and gets even bigger. It's like that game. I forgot what it's called, but it's just your little
It's not
cell.
Monopoly, is it?
No, you're well, you would think, but no, you're it's like you're that little cell, and then you keep on eating the other cells, and you kind of
Spore?
grow bigger.
No,
Spore?
it's like
No,
snakes.
something else.
Snakes.
No, it's not snakes,
What?
but it's
Okay.
it's
I thought you get longer. Okay, never mind.
no, but you're competing against other like germs and cells on the map, right? And the bigger you get, like the more you can eat. Like you're
Like
unstoppable.
evolution or something.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like at some point you go so big, you're just unstoppable, right?
Yeah, you become the planet.
Yeah, that's the whole thing by design. You're like these companies when they're if no one's gonna
Like
enact antitrust like monopoly laws against them,
yeah,
they just
are
grow
we
big.
Paying companies like antitrust and anti-monopoly.
Yeah, but nowadays it's a lot more global, right? They have they are everywhere, so it's like okay, well, and nowadays I think the U.S. government is kind of like reluctant to sort of come down with that, like they did. They did that with Microsoft back then in the 90s. They enacted like the antitrust laws and monopoly laws to try to give Bill Gates just a kick in the nuts, right? And they won against him. He was forced to, I think, what was it? Sell like half of his shares or something like that. I forget what it was, but those were the they tried to do that. They did that to Bill.
He become a philanthropist. Now he's like vaccinating the world and killing mosquitoes.
Yeah, the Gates family. I shouldn't just say Bill Gates.
Yeah,
They're doing a lot of like
they're doing a lot of goodwill to the earth.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be as willing to do that kind of stuff now because then the states would be afraid to lose the business because then they just move to like China or something.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's all worried about if you tax people, if you tax the companies too much, they'll just move. Like it doesn't matter, they're moving over there anyways. Like they didn't move over there because the tax was low. They're moving over there because the wage is low. They have to squeeze by definition, by process. Like they have to squeeze the profit. They have to squeeze the labor, right? So at some point, if the wages are too high here and you can't do it, then they will always look for some way to either get it down. Like they will look for ways to get it down. It's either staying here and rolling back some of the more labor friendly laws, or they do a more easier one where they go to another country and set up shop and spend a whole bunch of money to get like a manufacturing chain going, and then keep on going until they run out of places to kind of go. And it's a self-eating process. That's what I want to say. And because they always have to grow just by the laws of competition, and like
even streaming services.
Yeah, surplus profit. Like they always have to find some way to make themselves more productive, and get more profit because of that. It's either lower costs. It's a combination of lower costs and more productivity, right?
Why can't our system be like companies who are more altruistic become more successful?
Because it doesn't work like that. You need a big change for it to be something different, right?
Can we give altruistic points to companies?
It doesn't matter. No, they're never altruistic.
But we aren't. 'Cause,
We aren't.
We're going for the company that can offer us the cheapest
You see, here's the thing. Like,
service without.
yeah,
We don't care about where they're getting, how it's cheap.
and if you just
We're going.
if you pretend like the people that own all this shit, if you just pretend that it's not their fault. They're not like personally wanting to like do all this and just be greedy and
It's not their fault
consume.
personally, but it's their investors.
No, just pretend all the investors are actually like very altruistic people. If just pretend we're working on that assumption,
Okay, fine.
even then, just by the laws, just by how everything's set up, they can't just be like, hey, like let's not increase our profits. They have to. In this system, they are compelled to.
That's the dilemma for me, right? Because like I want to retire someday, so I invest my money into like stock markets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then, but for me to earn money or to increase my savings, stock market has to do well.
Yes.
But for them to do well, then the billionaires has to do well, and it's like a dilemma. It's like, god damn it.
Yeah, well, it sucks for everybody that's just using it as like investment, for retirement, right? Like,
But like, how do you get ahead in this world if you like you can't keeping money under a mattress doesn't grow it.
well, if it was good, then you don't have to worry about it. If the stock market's going up and there's unending growth that you can see within the next 10 years, then sure, that's the perfect way to.
But like for a lot of people,
invest
this is
your
their
retirement
viable
fund.
way of trying to get ahead, right? Like people who work 9 to 5, they invest what little they have.
Yeah, for retirement and for
stuff.
family and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And for that to do well, it needs to go into things that, and then it needs to go into the economy, which then
Yeah.
promotes this whole issue of what you're saying, where we eat ourselves.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, there's a separation there, because if you're like working 9 to 5 to save up for retirement, and these are just the options that you can put your money in, like yeah, shit out of luck, you gotta you have to bet that the market's gonna do good, whatever, right? But that is kind of different from a person that, let's just say, owns the company, like owns a corporation that needs to ensure that their quarter profits are always up and whatever. It's the stock market acts as a vehicle for like kind of investments and shit and capital accumulation.
Yeah.
But it's like,
But what I'm saying is, we all want the system to do well.
I'm saying that you could have a system where you don't have to bet on the stock market just for your retirement fund, right? So that's why I'm like,
Maybe. I
yeah,
don't
you
know.
can like.
Yeah, I guess you could save it to create a business, but then
In our current one, it's kind of slim because everything is shit. Like all the funds are down, and the economy is down. Like there's
that's
nothing you can find.
actually fantastic. You guys should invest, because like coronavirus is tanking the stocks, so you get more shares if you invest now.
Yeah, until it just crashes the next time, right?
Invest, so that doesn't
Oh,
help.
we just wait for the bail. It's fantastic.
No, I was just saying, like, they're squeezing fucking blood from a stone now. They're running out of places to try to squeeze that profit. So everywhere they're going, it's going to be a lot more volatile. It's going to be a lot more unsure. It's going to be definitely more risky, and just because they'll try everything to try to make that profit now, right?
I think we're getting to that point.
We're already very into that point, and it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, like if you look at tech right now, everything's so backlogged because of China's slowdown.
Oh yeah, because they manufacture everything over there.
Everything. It's like, oh, I guess we shouldn't put all our eggs in one basket. And I don't know.
What the fuck could they do, though, right?
That's true.
I mean, it's going that way. Like eventually, all the cheap textile manufacturers gonna move into like Vietnam, Indonesia, and then it'll slowly make its way to Africa.
Yeah.
Once they get whatever built
When
up.
China already has a foothold in Africa.
Right, but then like okay, so that's the point. Is like you're gonna run out of these cheap manufactured countries to go to. Then what? Where are you gonna get your profit, right? Then it's what? Then it's AI and machines. Well, good luck, because you can keep up your productivity there, but all of a sudden you're gonna have a bunch of people that can't work anymore. So it's still like a crisis, no matter how you see it. Everybody's heading to crisis, right? Everybody's making money in the short term. In the long term, you're gonna get fucked.
Slightly more
Yeah,
fucked.
yeah, because right, exactly, right.
Yeah,
We're getting
money.
more fucked.
I'm not making money. He said it's just short-term people are making money.
So
Yeah.
the answer our viewer is
Yeah,
spending
short term,
money-
we're average Joe. We're getting screwed because we're not
Yeah.
making money in the
just
short term,
gotta- we
anyways.
just gotta spend
We're getting
all our
fucked in
money
the short
now,
term,
right?
and the long term, we're gonna get even more fucked. So of course, you can see why fucking in all these places, and when Canada gets our elections, whatever, 5 years later, people are gonna be fucking angry and shit. Like they want just crazy shit. They just want the craziest stuff because everybody's getting squeezed.
So then, how do we save our viewers? What's the advice?
What's the advice? There has to be a lot of really big changes that I
But what can an
am
individual
too lazy to do.
Individual can't do anything right now.
Yeah, it
Should I
has to
just-
be a
You can't.
mass.
Should I just expect my life expectancy to be 40 and just spend my money now?
Why
At
would
least you
expect
have-
your life
I don't know. I want to say no, but who am I? Who am I to keep you from your you
I
know?
never really expected to live much longer, anyways.
Yeah, there you
so-
go. Life
have
expectancy
no money
back
to
into the
spend,
Middle
so-
Ages.
Back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, grandparents will be a rare thing.
I have friends who've like, they just decided to take a leave from work and just travel.
Sure.
And then
Why
they
not?
realize it's a really bad time to travel because coronavirus kind of ruins things for them.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the whole fucking coronavirus
My
thing.
parents just canceled their trip. They were gonna go to Mexico in May, and they canceled that
So
trip.
that's what I was gonna ask you, like, because so the virus is now called COVID-19,
Yeah.
and it's they've the WHO,
Yeah.
they categorize it as a pandemic.
No, they didn't categorize
They
that.
totally categorize.
No.
It's in other countries.
No, but no. Like, yeah, it's in other countries, but it's still containable.
So epidemic is outside your country, isn't
Epidemic just means it spreads. It's spreading all over the place, and including
What's
other
the
countries.
definition of pandemic?
Pandemic means that there's that containment doesn't work, so mitigation is where they put the focus on. That's what they said. And this is not I know people were like confused about this. You even had like YouTube comments from like the Who video. They're like, the fuck is this guy? This guy is such a dumbass. Why isn't he calling it a pandemic? There's a reason. You don't want it to be a pandemic. And at that point,
It's not
pandemic.
their choice though.
No, well, it's not like if I
It's
call
just
it.
a word. Like,
Yeah, it's not a. It's
Yeah, but that
if they
word
call it a
has-
pandemic, then what? Like, does everything get better? No,
Well,
right?
It's clickbaiting.
For them, for them, it's like separated in those. So if it's a pandemic, then the WHO directs resources for tells countries that they should direct resources to
But
mitigation.
There's also levels of pandemic, like level 1 to 4. I think.
No, well, they call it pandemic is pandemic, right? And then whatever in there, it's just whatever gradients of pandemic.
Right. I think that's the level then.
Yeah, but that's even less of a worth than deciding whether it's a pandemic or not.
Right. Anyway, so the question is, let's say it's a really high epidemic or a low pandemic, right? Question is, do you still travel? And you said your parents canceled their trip.
Yep.
Were they going to South Korea, Italy, or China?
Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Fuck's sakes,
They're
man.
so far away.
Look, yeah.
I think it's fine, unless they're going on a cruise.
Like flu, just flu is a pandemic. You can't. There's no way of containing flu.
No,
That's what they
but
try
the
to say.
flu doesn't have like, well,
Like 2009.
people aren't counting the death count on the flu.
2009, the swine
COVID-19.
flu. Swine flu was a pandemic, and then I remember the WHO got in trouble. Well, not trouble. Some people were grumbling against them because they were like, "You caused unnecessary fear, stoked unnecessary fear, and caused countries to spend a lot more by calling it a pandemic
Yeah.
for the swine flu."
But like, the WHO isn't responsible now. But like, I feel like social media is totally responsible. 'Cause, like, people are
because it's all over. They've gone nuts. People are stupid.
people are overreacting.
They are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Toronto's. My mom actually showed me like Toronto. There's footage of Costco or something. People are just going crazy. Like stock is running out of a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
people are preparing
people
for
are
the
just,
end
like,
of the world.
Yep, they've bought
ravaging
all
the
non-perishables.
And mask, people are like
masks have
gouging
been
for
sold
prices.
out everywhere.
But they're $25 a pop too. I'm like, god damn.
Yeah,
And like, do you understand that doesn't help you?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. It's all blown out of proportion. I don't really care.
yes, you could tell early on people would go crazy because when it was just basically in China, people are already going nuts. And then who was at that time was basically coming out and saying, look, if you all the other countries should do what they're doing, to actually try to contain it and actually fight it successfully or whatever, right? They're like saying, if this shows up in your country, this is what you should do, right? And then you have a good chance of not making this a mess. And then people at that point were like, oh no, fuck that, let's just stop travel from China. Like, anybody Chinese, stop that, right? And then the big clusters that you see now are exactly from just screening Chinese people, because it wasn't these people that became like super clusters or whatever. They never traveled to China, so they would never ever showed up.
Oh, you're talking about that group.
Yeah,
That group,
in Korea and in Iran, like and in Italy,
US, I think.
and
right?
yeah, and then a whole bunch of they're too busy just screening people, just anybody coming from China. These people that never even traveled to China, they got it, and they were the ones that that began these big clusters in those countries.
Actually, a friend of mine in California, he was saying that he thinks China created this COVID-19 conspiracy.
Yeah,
And then I'm like,
he's
what's your reason for them to tank their own economy? Like, what's their great plan?
For the walls.
Everybody loves these conspiracies that make absolutely no sense.
Well, conspiracy, I feel like it's soothing. Because, like, for example, we talk about flat earthers.
Yeah.
You know, before Christopher Columbus, people already knew the earth was round.
Yes.
Flat earth, like, the idea of it came, like, randomly. And, like, it came when people actually thought the earth was round. Like, when it became like a known idea that the earth is round, that's when flat earther became popular.
No, it was like that
came as,
before.
a reaction to established science.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
exactly.
Yeah, at that point, it was just a reaction. Before, it was probably like an even footing. Like some people were like, "I don't think it's flat.
But this is
I
like-
think it's flat."
During that time, it was like Greece, like Descartes, like those philosophy times. Like we're talking about, like when you're talking about like medieval time, they already thought the earth was round at that point.
Well,
Like
no,
in history, if you look at it.
there were still like you're talking about the same people that just had to submit everything to God because they had nothing else to live for. Like it
Well,
was just.
I mean,
everybody
God-
was very
God,
super.
you can't prove it.
I mean, no. My point is, everybody's fucking superstitious. Nobody's like being rational during those days,
They
right?
didn't have as much proof.
No,
Like,
it's
most
not.
people, they
It's
couldn't
just.
even leave the.
Hey, well, let's go
land they
burn
were
a bunch of
born
bunch of girls because they're witches, right? Fucking, that's the same mindset. No, like back then it was just people didn't know what the fuck was going on. Some people that were more learned, I guess, and traveled. They're like, Earth's probably not flat. I'm gonna have a plan of sailing all the way to the other side.
They
You know?
probably started getting the idea when you could go high enough to a elevation where you could see the curvature of the earth.
I don't know.
I would think that's like
you can see it even just on like a harbor, like you said. Like if you see a boat, it's round because as you look at the sails, they kind of goes down through the horizon, right? Because if the earth was flat, you should always see that sail at the same height, and then it just drop off.
Sure.
Yeah, but most
you,
people
yeah, you,
think
like I
of
said,
that.
you got but not everybody's like that, right?
I mean, it's the same thing with the anti-vaxxers. Like,
Yeah.
It's another reaction to
Yeah.
established science.
People
It's
weren't
like,
against vaccine until vaccines work.
It's funny how big of a resurgence they've had though.
but
You've got a couple hundred years where nobody
It's
questioned
it's
the
a
Earth.
very
is-
North American thing, anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
Because
flat earthers.
and flat earthers, because in places like Africa and Asia and everything, people
There's
are
no-
dying
there's-
for vaccines. People
Yeah.
are begging for vaccines. They know that they work. They know that the science is there, and they're begging for vaccines when they don't have them.
Yeah.
And here we have all the luxuries that we can afford, and people are like, actually, no, vaccines are bullshit.
Yeah, you probably don't have an anti-vaxxer in the Congo, right?
Exactly.
This is the danger of free speech when you allow people to talk.
Well,
about it.
honestly, it is kind of because you got so much idiots that are just spreading just horse shit around, right?
Most
Especially
people are idiots.
Especially if if it does become a pandemic and people are spreading shit like, hey, fucking this herbal mixer or whatever actually keeps the coronavirus away. You don't have to even quarantine yourself. Just slather this soap all over your face and go out. Then people will believe that and they'll be like, yeah, okay, this fucking guy that I trust.
I bet you if he got a
Because
big
I
enough
follow
group,
him and he has 10 million.
Yeah, he's got 10 million subscribers. Yeah, this fucking guy. Yeah, and you know what? This sounds way better than just quarantining myself. Goes out, gets another 1,000 people if infected.
if he had a big enough group, he could say like, "Oh, I put this turd on my head every day, and I don't have coronavirus, and I'm
Great.
fine."
Gonna put everybody smear shit all over the faces and get out.
This is our marketing.
Yeah, they're gonna do that.
buy verbal laxative pills here.
God, no. Yeah, people. You can see people are starting to get nuts. We don't even have
Because my friend, he lives in China.
Yeah.
And he's white. I don't know if that's important. Probably
It
not.
is.
It is very important.
Oh, he said it's tough because he has to wear a mask all the time.
Yeah, so
and you get
fucking-
fined if you don't.
Yeah,
and
tough
the other
luck.
thing too, he ordered, I guess, skipped a dish or something, and then he gets a receipt, and they wrote their body temperature on the receipt.
Yeah, just
just like-
they can tell. Look,
Yeah, I don't know if it's like.
it's not that much of a mystery what the hell's going on in
People
China.
are just. I guess they're trying to reassure you.
Yeah.
but like people are going in weird ways.
Well, over there, it's a big deal. It's definitely a bigger deal because like they had to lock down a whole province. So everybody, the government saying everybody has to stay home. Everybody has to wear a mask when they go outside. You have to have these like established distances between people. We're gonna have these checkpoints where we measure your temperature, and like we're gonna do these mass tests for everybody that's suspected. It's makes sense especially if the closer to you are to the epicenter, right?
So then, I feel like gaming in China is gonna be big now.
That was one of the
Especially if you're
that was one of the
Have to
memes.
stay indoors.
They were saying like, it's like you should take this time now because there won't be another time when your country asks you to do your patriotic duty to stay home.
Like League of
And do
like,
dick all.
This is the time where you're like, I'm gonna play League of Legends. Get
Yeah,
really good.
you're gonna fuck or you're gonna game. It doesn't matter. You just have to stay home and do it.
Yeah, I would just game the whole
Oh
time.
man,
This is
you see the
fantastic.
population growth 9 months after.
Yeah.
It's just like, I wonder what caused that.
Coronavirus.
They couldn't go out for protection.
They'll be known as the Corona babies.
The
wasn't-
Corona babies.
Wasn't that the thing at a cruise? They were containing a bunch of people, and they're like, all right, we'll just give them porn for free.
Yeah.
Just to
Oh
keep
yeah, I
them
saw
inside.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's their. People are like, oh, we're so bored. Okay. just
Imagine
watch
taking
porn.
your family to that cruise and this is
Yeah.
what you're getting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they gave
Well,
them like free Wi-Fi or something
free porn. It's like, I have like 3 kids to take care of. What do you want me to do?
in a small cabin. Like you, everyone look at that wall for half an hour.
It's probably more torture. It's like,
If you feel a repetitive motion and hear a repetitive sound, please ignore it.
well, I mean,
Cover your
there are
ears,
times
close
when
your
you'll probably
eyes.
sleep if you like time it.
There, a lot of these places, like for such a big country, a lot of people just at times like these, it's good that the government is that strong, and I like if you try to even fucking just seal off just one of the big cities here, I don't know, like it's gonna look like just a complete shit show.
Riots? You're thinking?
Why not?
There'd be looting for sure.
Of course. Imagine how many anti-vaxxers there are, or people that already distrust the government. Like, look at it. What would this seem like to them? It's like, this is it. They're making their move.
Well, to be
It's
honest,
time to uprise.
like Trump just didn't he appoint Mike Pence?
Yes, he is the epidemiologist of the.
I wouldn't trust him. I'm like,
Mike Pence is what?
He is leading the coronavirus efforts in the United States.
yeah, he has like zero. Like, what's his credentials for that?
God.
No, you have to be in a room alone with other women. Other than his wife, he's gonna.
Doesn't care.
That helps him be isolated, so he won't get the
I don't know,
coronavirus.
it's kind of ridiculous. People with no job experience gets like such a high title.
And
There's a-
here I am with nothing.
And you're not friends with Trump.
Well,
Maybe I should.
yeah, I don't know if
You
I
know,
would if I had the chance.
I bet if we tweet Trump and say, "Hey, we're a small podcast group that supports you and talk highly of you," and other
Please, please.
we could probably get paid and be his official.
He probably wouldn't even see it. You know how many people would tweet at him?
negative, but how many people tweet positive stuff?
Dude, it doesn't.
All of his factors.
How does he tell the difference between like what's what on Twitter? It's not like a check mark or an X mark on each tweet towards him.
All right, fine.
The people who think he's the next Messiah, they'll probably be tweeting good things about him.
Yeah, he probably likes a lot of those posts.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that wall though. He hasn't delivered.
So, okay, so let's just say our city is locked down. Let's just play this out.
I hope we wouldn't be trapped in this room.
Wow. At least my excuse of not getting my mail would be more legit.
Yeah, you're such. What the fuck?
Why is that a problem you have?
Yeah, I don't grab my mail and mow my lawn. Those are the two big things
What?
I can't do.
Why the mail? I know your fucked up reason for the lawn, but why? Why the mail?
Has anyone
We had a whole
complained about the
podcast
mail? Like the mail person's like, I can't put mail in. You gotta empty it.
I think
that
there's a
him?
time when he struggled because a bunch of my mails were crumpled because it was like
Yeah,
it
'cause
was
he
running
Too
out.
full,
Really.
yeah.
He's kind of
It's
just
getting full.
cram it in that.
I think it was like about 2 or 3 months. I decided like, oh, maybe I should clean this up. I don't know. It's just like not part of my routine. Like I'll come home, I go to my house through the back door,
Yeah.
and my mail is across the street. It's just like
You just need like one day out of maybe a week or 2 weeks
yeah,
to get
exactly.
it. Yeah.
But it's just not part of my routine. I'm hoping
I
if
think
someone moves
once
in
a
with
month
me,
is still good enough.
I could probably get them to do it. That'd be great.
Delegate tasks.
Delegate my tasks. Yeah.
This is such a non-issue.
But anyways, if I was trapped at home, that would be like fantastic. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, I can't get my mail. I'm quarantined. Be like, people would be more understanding then. Why don't you just get your mail? Like, I don't want to.
Yeah,
My
my
God.
trouble would be food.
I think
If
My
I was
God.
quarantined, like
and the city would have to do something about the Wi-Fi. It'd have to be like all the internet providers would have to give like unlimited Wi-Fi to everybody.
You
well,
know,
if they slow down my Wi-Fi, I'm gonna go outside and go towards their offices.
this is where Pornhub can save the day. Be like, giving free accounts.
They may. I mean, if it gets really bad, they would actually want to slow down like the information you can get and the information that you can send out in a way.
All lock down the internet.
Well, not like a total lockdown, but it'll just be like if it gets really serious, yeah, they can. I guess, yeah. You know what? No caveats. They
So
probably
you're
will.
saying they'd shut down all
But
the
that's-
internet.
Not like
Except
not a
porn
complete
sites.
shutdown.
no,
They just like
no, not even
filter it or
not even
something.
like not even just like if they quarantine the whole city, we'd still be fine. We still get Wi-Fi, whatever. It's if a lot of people in the city start dying,
Yeah.
then it's a
Well,
different
that's
ball game whatsoever.
Case anywhere,
It's
yeah.
like a Resident
Well,
Evil
Then hopefully,
scenario.
the more people that die, the higher internet speeds you should get.
Yeah, no, they will just throttle the whole
we,
thing.
we don't have
It only makes
experience though
sense.
with this type of stuff, like mass
There should be
flu
more,
that kills us all.
like VP positions open for
Yeah, not in
Yeah.
the modern era, especially.
Let all the old people die out so we could actually get good paying jobs.
Oh Jesus,
Like old people, the ones in the senior homes. Or-
the old people aren't taking your jobs.
Yeah, they're
No,
not.
Yeah.
they're
living
keeping the good jobs though.
How?
They're probably not.
By-
That's not all the old people.
You know,
I'm not saying
you know-
all of them, just the people with good jobs.
Oh
know
God,
the
Jason fascist confirmed.
Here's the
It's
problem
not
though.
fascism.
That is literally
No,
fascism.
it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
It's just because I want to get a better job, higher paying job.
No, that's literally the big F.
You know what's the problem?
How is that fascism?
Because you want you want the weaker to die off and the stronger to live.
That's not what I'm saying.
The weaker are the
Okay,
old people.
they don't have to die. Just give us their jobs.
They're retired. They have no jobs.
No, not that old. I'm talking old people like the boomers that keep their jobs.
Yeah,
like
just-
in the
That
past
won't
like
just
60.
He's just-
retire.
But
He-
here's the thing though. As soon as they kick them out of the job, they'll just get rid of the job position itself. They're like, oh, we don't need them.
I got him
It's not
flustered.
functional
I got him
topic.
flustered. You got with the big F word.
That's the thing. That's what companies do.
No.
As soon as they
I was just
fire-
confused as how that was fascism because I don't think that constitutes as fascism.
But here's the
If
thing.
they're
Fascism
weaker, if they're
would be
weaker.
like, oh, I want to be in power and
Money.
then I want to make all the rules.
Ooh.
I'm just
He's
saying I
power
want to
right
make
now.
more.
We're not talking
Ooh.
about physical strength.
Wait, you want? Okay.
But what makes you think that position will be available? Because once they get rid of the boomer who has that position,
It would
just
be
get rid
bad
of
if the
position
if
itself.
the
it's
ones he
all
wanted
the
to kill
positions.
were all one
like all
ethnic group.
VPs
though.
or CEOs and everything like that.
That would-
Most of those,
Just-
like 90% or more, are occupied by older people.
Yeah, sure, but they're just gonna consolidate it. They're not gonna give a millennial the position. They're like, oh, we'll just move this position to another boomer.
Yeah, that's usually
That's
what
why I
happens.
want all the boomers to give up the jobs.
Oh,
He just, he,
Give it to the
worse,
next
he
generation.
just want to get a mass retirement from everyone past a certain age.
have you seen this anime called Naruto?
Yes.
And then there's this anime called Boruto. They didn't pass the gauntlet. It still talks about Naruto and his dad.
I thought Boruto was a bad idea because they didn't even like start the manga much, and then they start making the show. I'm like,
Yeah.
what
What?
material are you gonna use?
And it's still about Naruto and Sasuke. It's barely about.
Is this a new topic
It's like
altogether? Or are you
Dragon
trying
Ball,
to
though. It's like Dragon Ball
I
Z
don't
when it
know
was
what
supposed to be
Oh,
Goku
it's-
passes off to Gohan, but they didn't do that
They
because
didn't do that,
Goku's
exactly.
too popular.
Yeah, it's the passing of
just
the
how it is.
mantles. It doesn't happen. It just sticks with the main characters.
But that's because of popularity for a character.
You're right. But maybe the boomers are popular.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
No one. Do you think millennials like boomers?
Oh
Why do you
god.
think the OK Boomer thing
Oh
happened?
god. We're gonna have an ageist purge.
Well, that's yeah.
Yeah,
Hey man, I would totally support them just retiring early. I guess.
Anyways, yeah, being quarantined in your house is gonna be interesting. Video gaming is probably.
How long do you
everything.
think you'd last being?
If
Most
it was
people-
just myself, I think I could last a long time. If I had to live with someone, that'd be tougher.
I think you get a couple weeks and then you start to run low on everything. Then you're kind of screwed.
What if they give you supplies? How long do you think you
Oh,
could?
like care
just,
Well, they-
but you have to
like
stay in
maybe
your
care
house.
package?
You can't
Well,
leave
yeah.
your house.
Well,
I would say
They do a
It's like house arrest.
in China. They did a staggered sort of schedule, so you can go out and buy groceries and shit on your day. So if they have that, you're pretty much good, and you won't have too much lineups.
And if you can still get pizza delivered to your place and stuff, but
If they have to give out supplies to you, I don't think the country is capable of even organizing something like that for a big city.
Yeah, I mean, people have to work to organize that too.
Yeah, no, it's small disaster relief, yes. Big disaster relief where you have to hand out supplies to every household rolling
People-
through. They don't have that resort. You were fucked.
I mean, can you guys work from home? It would be like
Yeah, we can work from at that point if they're handing out supplies to you at home, like you don't.
I don't,
Don't
think
worry
they-
about that
they're
shit.
gonna expect you to work.
Yeah, you don't. You're not gonna be doing much of anything.
I think in Canada the way to solve that there'd probably be like, okay, if you're feeling healthy enough, migrate north for a little while.
Just
Like,
die.
hey, North.
No, because
Aren't we
there's
already?
if you move to places where there isn't that much human population, then you're moving away from the outbreak. So
Yeah, but then you would like infect the population.
that's what I'm saying. If you're healthy and you're not infected,
Didn't you follow the social media? They infected a dog in Hong Kong.
He just had a positive test. I don't know if that means.
He's just carrying it. He's
Yeah,
not-
because
he's
you
not-
know dogs they don't get the same sicknesses as humans
Yeah, I was just
do.
wondering, like, does it affect any other?
No, it was just a
it's
clickbait.
specific stuff like Giardia, which is like that parasite, infects both human and dogs.
Well, I was
I
thinking,
know
like,
that.
like bird flu and
First-hand,
stuff. It's like, can it be like animals be carriers for
Is
it?
bird flu swine flu?
but again,
Or
even
is it
with
different?
animals, if you move up north,
Different?
those animals aren't
Different,
gonna be
okay.
infected.
Well, here's the problem. Like, if shit hits the fan, you're not gonna be. They won't have the capacity to test everyone, so they won't even be able to keep up to know who's really not that sick but still carrying
That's
it.
what they did with Wuhan, right? At some point, they just decided everyone is quarantined.
Well, the quarantine is not. They quarantine off everyone just to stop the movement, and at some point they're like, we don't have enough tests to keep up yet, so they just allowed all the CT scans to show. But now that the thing about China is since they can manufacture it all, they just ramped up. They've got enough resources to ramp up production, so now they don't have a shortage on tests.
Have they built that new hospital? I remember they were
Yeah,
pushing.
it was, and they have a little bit more coming as well.
I remember it was hilarious. People were so bored they made like characters out of the
Yeah,
bulldozers.
I sent you that link.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, because what happens is, hospitals already. If it's just on a normal day when you go in, it's already pretty much packed, right? They always have problems with trying to get empty beds and spaces and whatnot.
Yeah, wait times
even
for
a place
ER
with
and
no
stuff.
healthcare. Right?
So imagine if all of a sudden you're hit with this, the hospital's fucked. You have no way of putting all these people in. And that's where a lot of the deaths came in because it's just that there's no way to get treatment to put all these people on treatment, even if it's only like 20% that get really severe or whatever. There's no way they could like actually provide the like intensive treatment to all of these people.
If it's like 20% of the whole population, that's like 200 million people. So
Yeah, it's like 80% that was mild, 20% that's serious, and out of that 20% that are serious, it was another 20% that actually end up dying. So, like it disproportionately affects a certain group of people. But yeah, like you get that much people that are just overwhelm the hospitals. Like you're gonna get a higher mortality rate until like even they were filling up stadiums just to put the mild to serious but not like critical people just to give them a bed and shit. So then that's why they needed to build a hospital. So it's
how fast did they build it?
it was
like
I
4
think
weeks?
it was about 2
It was
weeks.
pretty crazy.
They built the hospital in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they needed to. So I mean, like, in a way, it's a good thing that at least if it happened in a country that can do that, right? Like, it's like, and that bought a lot of time for every other country in the world. Because now it's about it. You ideally should be able to deal with it if it winds up where
Hopefully it
you're
takes
at,
steps towards preparing for anything.
right?
I was surprised that South Korea got hit, but we don't hear from North Korea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's
Since
just
when
North
do
Korea.
we hear about North Korea?
North
true.
Korea, I think they would have no problems quarantining a lot of stuff.
Their
They might have
medicine is a bullet to
they
the
may
head.
have an advantage, not materially, but they may have an advantage just the way that they can just
The
cut
people will
cut
do
people off.
what you say. The government
Oh yeah,
says.
I guess they don't have an issue of it spreading. They're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, stay home.
South Korea one was a funny one because that woman, she's part of this like big cult, and for a while the people in that big cult, like there was a bunch of people that were sick, but they're like, oh, like don't just downplay it, don't go and make a big deal out of this, and she didn't want to get tested for it the 2 times she went to visit a hospital until the last time where they forced her. They're like, we have to take the test, and then it turned out she was positive. And she was just running around the whole time, refusing
She still
tests.
went to like the churches or whatever.
Yeah.
With like tons of people.
And she never went to China, so she never, like at that point, the test criteria for a lot of countries were, it's not enough that you get atypical pneumonia. You have to have had like some kind of travel record or been close to someone with a travel record that went to China, right? So, and then if you didn't have that, even if you had like atypical pneumonia, they'd be like, okay, you probably don't have it.
Pretty bad.
Pneumonia is bad, but
You
a
have to
lot
go
of
to
people,
hospital
but a lot of people get it. Like if you think about how many people get pneumonia during a flu season, there's quite a bit of people.
Yeah, but that's when you go to the hospital.
And then on top of that, an atypical one, like it's usually supposed to, I guess it raises more eyebrows, but they didn't get tested. She didn't get tested for that. She refused to get tested for that.
What about the Italy one?
I don't know. I think it was just some from trader. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that. But he didn't, like, the guy in Iran didn't really travel to China, if I remember correctly. The woman in South Korea didn't travel, and she got it. So then at that point they're like, oh fuck it, we have to expand the testing.
It's pretty interesting. But doesn't deter you from traveling, I guess.
No, I got a friend that's traveling to Korea this month.
Oh man.
No, Japan.
Oh, Japan.
Sorry,
That was a little
yeah.
different.
It's actually not a bad idea if you don't mind taking the risk because the airfare should be cheaper.
Airfare's cheaper, hotels are cheaper.
Do you think the Olympics might be canceled?
If it blows up, right now it's still contained, right?
Oh, okay.
When are the Olympics? Oh, this summer, right?
Yeah, it's coming up.
2020 in Tokyo. I mean, it could disrupt it.
If it blows
could,
up, then it
But,
definitely
yeah,
could.
if they can contain it and it starts to die down, then they'll be fine.
You know, it'd be awesome if it kind of happened just when the Olympics was starting, and they're like, oh shit, people are here, and some people couldn't make it because of the virus, and then you're like, oh, this is easy picking.
Like
Oh,
if
I
the
see. It would be
outbreak
awesome.
If
Like-
the outbreak
if
happened
you're-
during
Like
Olympics.
you're a competitor, and you're like, oh.
Not only
my
that,
com-
there's so much
com-
people traveling from all over the world.
my opponents dropped out because of the virus, and you're the only one.
You're
that
gonna
shows up.
infect everyone all over the world because they'll all be there.
Oh yeah, you're right. And you infect them, and they bring it home.
And then the next 4 years later at the next Olympics, none of those people will be there.
Well, okay, it's not death if you get COVID-19.
No, I know.
It's
but
only like a less than 1%.
Yeah,
chance.
usually like elderlies are the ones that
Underlying medical conditions.
but it sucks to have it. I mean, you need supportive.
yeah.
care.
I was just joking, okay?
It's okay. It's not like Brian said it would be awesome if that.
Yeah, if it happened during the
Well,
Olympics.
awesome.
It's okay. We've all said shit that like we're
Awesome
already
in the
condemned.
This is
perspective of-
verbal laxity.
Jason wants old people to die. I'm sure I said some shit.
I'm just putting it
I say the most shit to offend people.
Yeah, we get it from comments all over the place.
Yeah, but I gotta fill up my quota of shit talking because I missed the last couple.
Oh yeah.
You want to say something worse? Mention a
Yeah.
race. Any race.
Maybe not.
Okay, blacks, go.
Oh God.
Taylor Swift did it better.
What?
Taylor Swift did what?
Did it better.
What did she do?
I was just
I don't
thinking of
get
the time
reference.
when what's his name? Not R. Kelly.
Kanye?
Kanye. Yeah.
Beyonce had the best whatever of all
Something
time.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. That was.
That was a long time
That
ago.
was a
Oh,
fucking
that's a
stretch.
bit of a
We had
stretch.
to work backwards for a bit to try to figure out what the fuck he was
That was
saying.
pre-podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was way before.
Pre-podcast.
Oh, have you guys seen? Have you guys been watching Netflix lately?
Like
What
on
specifically?
Like just the new stuff that
Which
coming
one?
up.
I
There's
started
this-
watching Lock and Key. That's about
Yeah, Lock and Key was. Do you like it?
It's okay so far. The characters kind of piss me off because they're stupid.
Which character?
All of them are stupid.
All of them.
Did you finish?
Well, they're all kids.
But
they're
they're
like,
but this is like, it reminds me of like YTV, like young adult kind of shows,
Like,
it's just they do such
you afraid of the
stupid
dark?
things.
kind of like, yeah. It was supposed to, well, the comic books is supposed to be horror,
okay.
like Lovecraftian, but they took out all the horror. Like there was a
It's
scene with
less-
some
it's-
horror,
it is less
but it
horror.
wasn't that scary because I don't know how far you.
Lock a key.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was supposed to be horror.
Oh yeah,
But
it's supposed to be horror.
I'm like, what, maybe 4 episodes in? or
oh yeah,
something?
because like there's a ghost, or they call her a ghost, and then at some point she starts making out with the main character, and you're like, interesting.
No, all the main characters do stupid things. I get for like the young kid because he's a young kid, but the other 2 are in like high school and they're just like so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. At first it was kind of cool, but then the more I watched it, I realized it's not that great.
I'm watching the Witcher.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
watch
seen that yet.
everything that pops up on Netflix on lock and key. I just watch the shit that I am interested in.
What'd you think about The Witcher?
I'm only 3 episodes in, and so far I like it. I mean, I know lots of people had problems with
The twist?
the pacing and.
Have you played any of the games or anything?
No, but I read the books.
Books. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's probably better.
Well,
Yeah.
there are more
I
books.
have the game on my list too, but I haven't.
Why is it
gotten around to
Witcher 3? Like, has
Because
there...
there was
Because there's
before.
2, there's
It's
1,
the
2, and
third in
3.
the series.
But the show starts with the third one?
No, the show starts with the books.
The Witcher, the show's not called Witcher 3.
Oh, okay. Just the game is called Witcher 3.
Yes, because
Oh,
it's
okay.
the third
starts
Witcher
with the
game.
books.
Got it, got it.
The games are based on the books.
Got it,
and then
got
there
it.
was one
It'd be
and
less
2.
embarrassing if I actually said that before. I was gonna ask you, like, it is more based off the books. Right?
Yeah. And there was
Couldn't
1 and
save
2,
you,
but the only reason Witcher 3 is freaking famous or popular is because I guess it was just the right.
It was a good game.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
We're at the age where graphics and everything is good. So
Oh, I thought it was Gwent that made it popular.
No.
No,
Geralt is very popular too.
It's a card game within the world of The
Gwent
Witcher.
didn't make Witcher 3. No way.
I'll save you by saying something that might be an unpopular opinion. I tried playing Witcher, but this is Witcher 1. I tried playing that, but I didn't like it.
I didn't play Witcher 1. I started straight off on Witcher 3.
I didn't know there was Witcher 1 and 2 until 3 came out.
So yeah, it was a long time ago. I tried to play Witcher 1 again, but it was like I didn't like it because the main character, he was so boring.
Yeah.
He was
Isn't that
like-
the same guy the whole way through?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
But it's like he's so like there's no emotion. It's very monotone, and like there was no personality, so I couldn't get into it.
Yep, he's gonna be that brooding.
That is
Fellow.
who he
But
is
it's not
in
like the
books.
good kind of brooding.
But does
It's
it
like-
change? Does it change your perspective? Now you know it's portrayed by Henry Cavill.
But I like Henry
No.
Cavill. I'm good. I would try the third game because everyone loves it. It's
You know who
supposed to
he
be really good.
reminds me of? At least his performance in Witcher 3, Geralt. Sorry, he's a lot like Solid Snake from Metal Gear. He's got the same
Same look to him.
emotions. He got almost the same way of talking actually. And a lot of his cutscenes,
Yeah.
it is kind of like Snake.
Yeah.
And he
from Metal
calls
Gear.
Otacon.
Yeah, there's no like codex and shit, but if it was, you wouldn't look out of place, I guess.
Yeah. Have you gotten to that scene with the dragon and the midgets?
No, buddy, that's not even anywhere close to episode 3.
How many
it's not?
episodes are there?
Okay.
10? 8?
I watched it out of order, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, fuck
You watched
sakes.
it out of order?
Oh, I jumped in.
Let's not get into this again.
I don't understand how you jumped in because they're all released on the same day.
He watches shit out of order. That's what's
So
going
you
on.
Go through the description of the episodes and just click on what you think.
He usually watches.
or someone's watching it and I just watch it.
Oh, you just.
He watches shit out of order, and that's how he prefers it.
Uh,
And I'm like, oh, this is the show. But
that makes
We've had-
complete sense. Yeah.
We've had many sessions of
People
just.
already complain about the pacing and the timelines of Witcher. And he was just like, let me fuck that up even more.
He thought that might make it better.
Well,
sometimes it does.
It's his trademark move. Watch things out of order.
Sometimes if you skip the first 2 episodes and you watch the third one, it's like, oh, this is really exciting because they're not taking their time to explaining things.
But
See, that's what I don't like about people complaining about Witcher. The first couple episodes, they took to explain things because
it
You're
needed
looking at
explaining.
brand new characters. Like
It's like a new world.
it's a new world.
But
so-
there's different ways of explaining things. Like the movie Matrix, they explained the plot through action, like all the like because they had to like tell you about the world and tell you about like people are on these pods and all that stuff. They told it all through action. It was like really
This one's
intense.
through action. What do you mean through action?
Like the Matrix.
Yes, I'm familiar with the
Oh,
movie.
sorry.
But what do you mean they explained it through
It
action?
wasn't action, it was dialogue.
Yeah, Morpheus literally
A little
talked.
bit. There was yeah,
explained
there
it
was
all.
there was a scene with the where he like sits them down and talks a little bit, but a lot of the plot, a lot of the background story was also told through action. Like as they were going and they were running away from agents and stuff, they were
So
like,
the background
but
story in
all
which
the background
Yeah, but
story-
Morpheus gave like the
Action
big
as well.
101 primer for.
yeah, he gave a bit of
Yeah.
It was with
Right?
the room with the chairs, and then he
Yeah.
explains the Matrix more
He
by like
explained the
going
movie.
into the Matrix. There's no action.
Yeah, he explained basically the
He explained
foundation.
some of the Matrix, but there
The foundation of the
Yeah,
entire
the
thing.
history
the
too, like the
foundation.
machines and everything taking over, using them as batteries essentially.
Yeah.
That's all through talk.
But there was other scenes where, like, through action, they also explained stuff. Like the bullet time, right? That was like an action scene, and that was explaining about.
But that's not explaining the history.
That
This
was
is like a
explaining-
new
that
thing
was
to
just
them.
cool,
Neo was
yeah.
the first person to do it.
right. What my argument is saying is, there's other ways of explaining. What's it called?
Sure.
Exposition.
Sure,
Yeah,
it's just
there is
Matrix is
different
not a
ways
good
of-
example of it
I've
because it's
seen that
probably
movie so many times.
it's probably antithetical to whatever the fuck you're trying to say.
And are you trying to say Witcher doesn't have action?
I didn't watch all of it to know.
Okay.
Let's stop talking about
Okay,
The Witcher.
now
like,
that we
right
kind
now.
of beat him on
I just-
that, I want to point out that he could have used the scene where Neo learns kung fu. He could have used that, but
Yeah.
he didn't.
There was that one.
Well, I pointed out for you,
Yeah, there
so
was that one.
that's why I said after the fact. Now that we're done with it,
I heard the movie like 2 and 3 was like
You never
crap.
seen it, right?
No, I seen 2 and 3.
Okay.
But when I
didn't
saw it
watch
as a kid, I didn't like it.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
'cause
The
two
one was
suck.
the best one.
But if you were to look back at 2 and 3, like there was some really interesting idea that they did have. It didn't portray well, but it was really interesting.
The only
It
good
was
thing about
terrible.
2 and 3 was Monica Bellucci in that.
two was
was that the
okay.
French guy?
3 was terrible.
Girl,
Yeah,
Woman.
Hassan would
Oh,
not be
her.
like the only good thing is this dude.
girl, woman, Monica. No, she's also Italian.
Yeah, that's the one where they slipped the drink down her. Oh no,
She's the one that
no,
wanted
no.
to kiss Neo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the other girl. Yeah, right.
She's like, "Kiss me like you would kiss Trinity," and then
Yeah. See, that one was interesting because like throughout the whole movie, they were saying that there's no choice in life. It's like there's no free will. Everything you do is like designed.
predestined.
So like Neo, all the time when he's given a choice, it's all chosen for him. Like kissing the girl, like he felt like he never had a choice. So when he got to the architect, and it's like, oh, you could either loop back as you're supposed to, like every other Neo that does, or you could say Trinity and then destroy and it'd be the end of the human race kind of thing, right? And that was the only time he made a choice.
Yeah.
Because all throughout the whole movie, he didn't make a choice.
Well, they kind of hinted at that in the first movie too, when he meets the Oracle.
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't worry about the vase." It's like, and then he breaks the vase, and then it brings the question. It's like, "Oh, would that have happened if I didn't say that?"
Yeah,
And
there's
then-
a snippet of it, but I think they expanded more in the second
yeah.
quite a bit. The third one, I think it was just I forgot that movie.
Yeah.
One thing that
That
I
movie
always,
sucked.
one thing I always kind of thought about when I did see these movies when the emphasis on is they always try to make it like a dichotomy about predestined, predestiny or choice, and then in the movie or in the story that they tell, main character always when it's based on it's choice. Is the choice that the main character has is always very consequential and it affects everything. And I always think about is this why people like to see this stuff? Because in the average person's life, their choices are pretty much inconsequential to anything going about. I'm like, is there some reason why people like gravitate to these stories where fucking the main
Well, it's
character
how
has
we-
a choice that actually does something like big and fucking momentous?
But it's how we describe ourselves, though. Like when you talk about like, oh, I saved my marriage because of this one incident and da da da. Like we describe it that way, right? And you're like, that probably wasn't the
Probably
reason.
wasn't. So if imagine
want
if
that.
imagine if you're a person that imagine if you're a person like you're the president or someone that you are the opposite. Your choices actually have a big monumental impact upon a lot of things. Do you think that you're more likely to want to watch some fucking like Beavis and Butthead movie that just is nothing, just
Yeah.
nothing going on in that?
Like I think Trump's decisions are monumental, but he also thinks like it's not a big deal. Like, oh, kill the army guy, yeah, whatever.
No, but like, forget Trump. I would say Sanders. He probably sits down and like just like after.
After doing all that shit, he just wants to sit down and just watch some.
He watches like Jackass.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, kick him in the nuts.
I feel like he needs a way of venting. Yeah, can't be serious all the time.
It is because we as regular people just live regular lives. Our choices are: do I have coffee in the morning, or do I skip coffee? Do I go for a jog in the morning, or do I do it in the afternoon or the evening, or do I cut down and not have this cupcake, or go ahead and have it? Those are our choices.
It always, it just seems like always attracted the opposite thoughts that are in contrast to
Oh,
everything.
yeah, because it's a form of escape, right? You want to see something that's not your life.
It's also easier to portray one choice than a lot of small choices. Like, for example, if it's like someone trying to get fit, they don't want to keep showing you the same choice of, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat a salad today. Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat a salad today. It's easier to show him fight a big monster and then like destroy diabetes, and now he's fit.
What?
I wish I could do that. Fight my fatness. Like literally,
Fatness would
like
probably
if
win.
my fatness took form of a creature of some sort and I had to fight it.
Yeah, but what if he
But
wins?
if I win,
Then
I'll
you
just die.
accept
I
it.
died to
Except that
heart
you
disease.
you become fatness, and then you just try.
You wake up, you're 700 pounds, the fat one.
Shit. You try to fight again, they're just even.
This will
bigger,
be
like,
your
God
Matrix
damn.
moment where you wake up and there's like fucking Morpheus there. It's like yeah, do you think this is air you're breathing? He's like, let me tell you the story. It's like you have a choice in front of you where you can get rid of your obesity, or you can lose to it. What is your choice?
I'm gonna lose to it. Like screw this, I'm out.
I mean, if you realize like you can't be fit anymore, you are gonna be obese. Are you just gonna go ham and eat as much as you like?
I already do eat what I like.
Oh,
But if that's
I
how
don't
it's
care.
meant to be, if
I don't count calories or anything like
it
that.
sounds like obesity has already won.
But that's
Why I don't want to change my habits. That's why I would rather, rather than exercising and everything, eating right, I'd rather fight this one time.
Well,
One
what
time
makes you
beast.
think that you're ready to fight obesity?
Because I don't want to do the normal fight against obesity. I want to
feel like
fight
you're
an
doomed to
actual
lose.
form of it.
you want to go against obesity, what, quarter mile at a time?
No,
8-second mile.
Jason.
all at
Just
once.
race them.
Jason's not good at the
1v1
long,
me, bro.
drawn out people's war sort of strategy. He wants one decisive battle.
But I feel like Jason's gonna lose if he fights.
Of course, he.
Yeah, I would lose either way, so I might as well lose in like a battle than a long drawn out
Just have it,
process.
just- Put him out of his misery.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather get shot in the head than die from like cancer or something.
Okay.
Any
I don't
questions?
know. I mean, you could
morbid.
still recover from cancer.
That's why I said die by.
Like if the if you were to just get cancer and cancer wasn't gonna go into remission or anything, you were gonna die. From
Yeah.
Yeah.
it, or
That
get
was my
shot
point.
in the head.
Yeah.
Which option would you take?
Well,
if
I-
someone told you, hey, you're
So then, like, if you were to get cancer, would you just ask for a gun and?
if
Just
you knew
end it.
beforehand
Yeah.
that cancer was gonna kill
Well,
you.
what if you already got the cancer and you're like, well, I'm gonna die from this cancer. I might as well just.
No, but
You can still take the route of shooting yourself in the head.
Yeah,
right?
before everything goes bad, where like you're in too poor of a shape to do anything,
Yeah.
or
I wish
all
there's
you
a
feel is
real
pain.
Euthanasia.
without it like harming others.
What the fuck? You haven't heard of the big euthanasia, whatever debate in
Yeah,
a
I
bunch
heard
of
the
countries?
debate.
That's basically it.
Yeah, I know it's euthanasia.
They don't give you a room to fucking put a round into you, but
They don't give you a gun.
they give you the choice. They're trying to give. Some people want to give the choice of
we have
death to
euthanasia?
people.
Is it legal here?
I
No.
think it's very fucked up. Like I think people. I think the last doctor that gave it, he's in trial or something. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not decided.
It's really tough to push that through.
I want to say, didn't they fucking pass something where it made it legal-ish.
Or they made it like
Not
or they made it not
really.
illegal kind of thing.
Yeah, like a not. Yeah, you won't get.
Yeah, you don't get
You won't get
charged,
fucking
but you're not
big
supposed to
punishment
promote
from
it
it.
kind of thing.
because in like hospitals, if someone is like dying, like you can't do anything to help them.
See, that's the thing.
All the doctors can do is like they can only make them feel comfortable. That's all they can do. They
But like
can't-
if you had a heart attack, and let's say CPR would only make your life worse, doctors will give you CPR.
Yeah,
'cause
well,
they-
doctors have to.
No.
They have to,
anyone-
yeah.
No.
The
You can sign a do not resuscitate, and they just let you die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just leave me be.
But
No.
that's different if it's like a doctor encounters someone randomly having a heart attack, then they would have to, right?
Right.
Well, he's,
Isn't that part of their Hippocratic oath or whatever?
That'd be awesome if you had. He gave you CPR.
yeah. No, the DNR
then-
is usually just it's in the hospital.
He saved you, and then your journal's right beside you.
Yeah,
I
please
stand-
don't
he starts
resuscitate.
reading. He's like, "Oh,
Get it.
I fought obesity. I just can't fight anymore. I just want to
Get
die.
tattooed.
Doctor would
my
win that
plan
case.
is to get
I
a
think.
heart attack.
'Cause
this
then what, they
day."
would
And then he's
expect
like,
you-
Shit, I ruined this guy's plan.
They'd
No, he's
expect you to
alive.
read a notebook next to a person before helping them.
No,
out.
they would want you have to carry it in your wallet, just like one of those fucking blood donor.
or like wear one of those bracelets.
Organ
like the
donor.
Well, the reason he
diabetes
didn't read it is because you were
things.
having the heart attack. But the journal was about you.
No, they're gonna save your life if it's outside of it.
Yeah,
They're gonna
exactly.
save your
It
life.
Saved your life. But then your whole plan was that you lost the obesity and you just wanted to die, and you decided to have a heart attack. But then this doctor saved you. This is the twist in the movie. Is what I'm
Man, a
trying to
heart
say.
attack is a terrible way to choose to die.
Yeah, he'd
Yeah.
probably choose like sleeping pills or something. So morbid.
We're just creating M. Night Shyamalan twists here.
Shitty twists.
It's like
Well,
the worst
M. Night
twist.
Shyamalan twists are all shitty.
Yeah, they're all shitty twists.
Like, what was it? The Happening?
Who would have a good twist?
Hey, didn't he do different thing? But didn't M Light do Split?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
The
a
twist was
decent
terrible.
movie.
that's his trilogy.
Yeah,
His twist
that's-
wasn't in the movie. It was about another movie. That's his twist.
Was there even was there a twist in those
It was
movies?
Unbreakable, Split, and then Glass.
Yeah,
the
was there any
twist-
twists?
The twist of Split was that it was a shared universe to Unbreakable. Because the whole time you watched the movie, there was no
Yeah.
reason for you to expect that to be part of
Yeah, you
Unbreakable.
did, that was with Split. You didn't realize it was part of a bigger universe until then.
But does that count as a twist?
I don't know if that counts as a twist.
It's not a plot twist, but it was a twist. It was something unexpected. You didn't.
I don't think that's a twist as much as just like unveiling a new part of a map.
Yeah, but if you didn't know that they were supposed to be connected, it'd be weird. Like if you're
But
playing
no
a
one
game.
was supposed to know they were connected.
Yeah, like you're playing Mario, and then suddenly you realize, oh my god, we're in Hyrule this whole time. It's kind, or it's like the
Yeah,
twist,
you know that would be a twist.
it's like that twist, Planets of the Apes, when you find out that this is Earth. It didn't change anything, but you just found out this. Is Earth.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Okay,
no, yeah,
okay,
I know
I'll
what
buy
you,
that.
I know what you. Oh my god, this Hyrule.
So what are you watching on Netflix?
I was watching Love Is Blind. It's like this reality TV that's really.
We already
terrible.
talked about this before.
Oh, that reality TV one.
No,
No,
we
we
didn't.
did not
That
talk
was
about
what was that one? Marriage something.
Marriage
fucking
Story?
Kylo
No,
Ren.
that's 30
Kylo
Day
Ren.
Fiancé.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kylo
there's
Ren
that
and
was
Black
awesome.
Widow.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah,
Proceed. Yeah, Love is
Blind. They're trying to create this experiment to prove the idea is Love is Blind, and the way they do it is they find lovely contestants from both gender, male and female, and they go into these rooms that are divided by walls. You're not supposed to see the other person, and you talk to them and you go on dates through talking.
Without
And-
seeing them.
Yeah, without seeing them.
So you just,
Wait, so what-
it's just a conversation? Like,
Yeah.
Like, do you eat or whatever? Like, do you have activities?
No, other than
they
talking,
just
not
talk to
really.
each other and
You
get
just
to know
talk to
each
each other.
other.
It's
Get to
it's
know
like
each
blind
other.
date. It's like it's like calling them basically, and the only way to get out of the room is you have to propose to a girl, and if they accept, then you get to see them, and then later the story gets. Then they put you on a journey, and you have to be wed in the next 30 days.
Okay, but in this day of equality, can the woman propose to the man too? Or
Yeah,
is it just,
one of the girls did that too.
Okay.
Well, technically he proposed first, then she told him to stand up, and then she proposed, and then
No, see, that doesn't work. The guy still did it first.
the guy still did it first. So
What
in
a
terms of
bitch.
equality, no, there's no equality. Usually the guy has to initiate the propose. It's also hosted by
Which is
Nick
what-
Lachey
something I
from
don't-
98 Degrees.
Oh god.
If that matters. Probably doesn't.
I don't think.
Wait, so what
Lachey
do you
does
see? You just see them talking? Like,
Yeah,
is
that's
there
their
any
dating.
other visuals or?
There's a silhouette maybe? Not really. No.
People
not
are-
really.
So it's it could basically be like a
You
radio
can tell
show.
by their voice. Maybe you can tell if they're black. Sometimes, most times, because they usually have some type
Yikes.
of like accent or like.
I was just wondering
That's
what you see on your TV, but it's like
Oh, on the TV you see both. You see everything. It's just
We see
they.
everything.
Yeah,
They don't
okay.
see.
We're omniscient. We see everything, but they don't see the girls.
yeah, that's what I was
But
curious
the guys
about.
can kind of infer what girls other guys like based on like I guess eavesdropping and stuff. And
And it's only the guys that can infer that. The women can't.
women's do too. Yeah, they've been some. There was this one guy named Barnett, and he had like 3 girls going after him. And then this one girl, her name is Jess, and she tried to go all in with him. And he was like, "Oh, I'm still not sure about you," kind of thing. And then she got angry and it's like, "Oh, you're a player, da da da," and started telling all the other girls, which didn't affect those girls. And then she felt like she kind of showed her hand. So then she went back to the first guy who, in the beginning, were like so sure of him, but then wasn't because she found the other guy. But now that she ruined it, she had to go with this.
It's like,
Back to a safety net.
Yeah, went back to her state.
Hopefully that guy was all like, I know what you're doing, you freaking
No,
idiot.
he didn't.
Ah.
You know what he did? He's
he
like,
was-
my mom told me that if you let something go and they come back, it's truly yours. And then we're
Ah.
just
He
like,
was in the friend zone.
yeah, hand in.
Yikes.
It's really terrible
It's
show.
more like it seemed like he dodged a bullet at first. And then,
No,
like,
he didn't. He wanted the bullet to hit him. It's like if you like drama, it's
He wanted the bullet in him.
yeah. It's just like watching a train wreck. It's for some reason it's very entertaining.
jumped right in
that's
front
how
of it.
reality shows are.
Yeah.
So
They're
Netflix
like
is
that.
branching into reality shows.
Yeah, they are.
And
They're
you're-
definitely, but it's popular. Like a lot of my, I don't know why, but a lot of people watch it. And
They
there's a lot
have
of discussion.
Terrace House on Netflix, and everyone's like watching that.
But Terrace House is so,
Big Brother. basically.
Basically, but for dating, it's like 3 guys, 3 girls in
but
one house.
it's not. There's no drama. Like
So
not
it's Jersey
no.
Shore.
No, well, it's like way less scripted. It's
Nah,
actually like
Jersey
more
Shore is like
realistic
it's
people.
just basically a zoo for fucking.
They
Because
just-
once 2 people like go out and stuff, and they're like kind of steady, they can leave the house
They
to
don't-
bring new people
they don't
in.
script it.
Yeah, it's Japanese originally too, so it's like it's just it seems more real than all the other.
Well, it is real
reality
because it's
shows.
unscripted.
No,
People
but I
just
mean
do
like
it.
other reality shows like Big Brother and stuff. They'll cut things and like put it
Yeah.
together with like
Show
what
it
people
the way
say
they
But they
to
still
make
cut-
it seem more
Yeah,
drama.
but
But
that's different
Terrace
from-
House kind of do cut stuff.
That's different from Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore is just meant as an exhibit, so you can observe the species.
and
called
I'm sure they
Snooki.
give like producers and stuff probably be like, hey, you should
Situation.
piss off this girl or whatever.
Yeah.
But Terrace House doesn't seem as much like that.
No, it's very.
It's
Yeah,
way more tame and seems more human.
Terrace House, I think, is also really good. I do. Well, I shouldn't say. I did watch it, but I didn't get into the drama. It's
I
not
don't-
enough. It's not enough artificial drama.
Well, yeah, that's because there's not that artificial drama.
What's-
I only watched the first season like super long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then only more recently, it's like it seems like everyone's watching it,
Yeah,
and I haven't.
it's
kept
a
up,
it's a very
obviously.
bingeable show. But
Terrible.
I think people watch Love Is Blind for like this artificial drama, like you like this. They're just watching a train wreck.
I see. It's like high school gossip.
It's very
Yeah.
high school.
I think that's how a lot of American reality shows are like.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's like the
Or it's
30
why
day,
people watch it.
like 30 Day Fiance is another fan favorite. Like people love this one.
It's like The Bachelor and Bachelorette; those are huge too.
Yeah, like 30 Fiance is it's all about train wrecks. So like the creators are so smart. Like what they'll do is they'll find a couple, and they like the idea is basically there's a visa where if you marry someone and they become your wife, it's the K1 visa. You can bring them over to US, right? Oh, it's not shouldn't say wife. It could be either or gender, right? And so the original show is these people meet their spouse somewhere else and they try to bring them over and have them live there. And so like in the beginning it's always that romantic story of like, oh, they're the one, I just met them online, da da da. And then as they're going through their journey, that's when the show starts revealing really dark secrets, like oh, how much debt they're in, or like you know.
Is this
I'm only married
pre-existing?
so
Like,
someone will pay off my debt.
is it the 2 people already knew each other?
No. Usually, yeah, I don't know what time they jump in. I think usually it's pretty like new, like they just met and they're
But
about
they
to get
meet
married.
like online or something.
But basically the show is about them our fiance and they have to get married within 30 days so that they can apply for that K1 visa.
Oh.
And it's great.
So you just
like,
see them together for that month basically, and
Yeah.
see how it goes.
yeah, but it's really great. Like this one guy, he dated like a gold digger, and she even told him like, "I'm just a gold digger. I'm just here for your money." And he was so like, "Oh yeah, she'll pass that phase. She's in for me and stuff." And she was very abusive to him.
And she did
Oh,
not
that
pass that
sucks.
phase.
And nope, she didn't.
Okay, he wasn't
It got to a point where he had to try to smuggle drugs to
What?
pay for her,
Jesus.
and then he got caught, and now he's in jail. But then she's still faithful to him. So that's the bright side.
She
She's still
probably
faithful.
has.
At least,
She
at least
probably
he
owns
got
the
a-
assets until he gets out.
Well,
so.
she does YouTube now. She's on YouTube.
God
She-
damn it.
Yeah, she's an influencer. She and her husband's in jail trying to smuggle drugs.
Well, at
to
least
pay for her.
she's kept loyal to him.
Yeah, at least she's kept loyal.
Fucking influence.
Oh yeah, that's the
That's the
future.
Yeah, it's like the easiest job, and you get paid so much money. If anything, it's not even like you get free stuff and you get to travel everywhere. It's like
I don't
it's
know if
unbelievable.
It's an easy job though.
Absolutely is.
To stream 8 hours, I don't know if I could do it.
No, influencer, not a streamer,
Oh,
Yeah, man, just putting up a video.
or like Instagram pictures or
but
something.
like even
that's-
Even
like, in-
yeah, even less.
you don't just become an influencer. You usually have to do something.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
get a bunch
be
of
born
followers.
into a rich family, or like
You just
have a
look really hot,
celebrity as
or you
parents.
yeah.
Beg big companies to give you free shit.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey Tesla, if you give me a free car, I'll show it in my next video.
Like, can you imagine
Like,
if
what the
you
fuck?
gained the account of the egg? Remember, they on Instagram they were trying to create this one account to have more followers than
Anybody
Kim
else?
Kardashian or
like
something.
Kim
Yeah, I
Kardashian,
think I
and it
remember
was
that.
the egg.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
account. Can you imagine if like they bestowed you the egg account and then you became the egg influencer?
Oh, I'm sure that died out very quickly after they hit that target. Probably like just like everyone stopped
unsubscribed?
caring. Well, not even unsubscribe. That takes effort. They
Did you
don't-
did you see that the whole thing about that ChatterBait, and then it was that AI anime girl that was
Yes.
basically taking up all the slots on ChatterBait?
I think you told me this. Before.
No, I don't.
The one of the best parts of that was these people that stream a bunch on ChatterBait and just depend on that for their livelihood. They're like they were complaining that since they're getting displaced by this basically AI anime fucking bot, they're like, I worked hard for my slot, and there's no way I can compete with them. And now it's like, now people want to jerk off to a cartoon. It's like, this is not fair. I worked hard for this, and the people were just, everybody else was just like losing their minds over just fucking hilarity, because but you see this person that just streams on ChatterBait the whole time, and they're like, fucking, they're having such a shit meltdown over something that they perceive as not working hard enough, and then everybody else is like, the fuck, like, like this is why there's nobody else outside of that has much sympathy for whatever the fuck that was going through.
I think it's popular because it's just different from everything else. Like, there's so many girls on these sites that's like
The main
this
gripe
is
that
the one thing.
the main
that's
gripe that
different.
they had was like, since that is basically a bot, someone manages that account.
No,
and-
it's
but-
it's an actual person that's
Yeah.
doing like the voice and everything.
yeah, but she can go like forever. She can go on like 24/7. That doesn't have to do much. She doesn't have to be there in presence like
That's
all the
pretty
other
smart,
girls
though.
do. Well, all the other ChatterBait live streamers don't think so. All the thoughts.
Well, that's the same as people on TikTok. They're like, they work really hard to get all these subscribers, and then you just have like a James Corden get on TikTok and taking all your numbers, right? Same thing.
I just think it's funny when thoughts complain. That's basically it.
Yeah.
But
It's
Jason,
about their own competition. It's like if an alien all of a sudden showed up on Earth and started a ChatterBait. Everyone would watch that.
have you
Yeah.
have you thought of
They'll be like,
doing a
"There's-
mukbang? I
It's
feel
funny,
like it would fulfill your goal of making money and feeding your obesity.
Feeding obesity wasn't a goal. I just don't care about what I eat.
What were you gonna say?
It's just funny how like you mentioned ChatterBait, like, so somebody else more famous gets on, and then everybody else is pissed off that
They lose their shit, man. I just say, you know what? I would be. They should just say that's one of the other jobs that automation is gonna take over. But honestly, no one gives a shit about a thought. Honestly, so that's why.
It is sad though. Like in high school, when you ask people career choices, people do put like streamer, video gamer, or
Nowadays,
Yeah.
nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
If I knew about it back in when I was in high school, that would become like such a huge thing, then yeah, I would try to go into it.
Yeah, you would be
'Cause that would
huge.
be-
We wouldn't even know you.
The most successful
Yeah,
ones
potentially,
are the ones who got on it back then.
Oh yeah,
They're the most successful one.
Oh yeah,
the pioneers of it.
Either you go in early, or you're something unique about you, right? Like
Or you're a super hot chick.
Oh, you're hot.
Like that. What's the gamer guy?
Ninja.
No. PewDiePie.
Oh yeah, PewDiePie.
oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't do games anymore.
No,
Well,
not
he's super
anymore.
rich,
That-
you know?
that's his thing. That's how he started.
That's
with
how he started.
playing games, yelling at them, and he
Yeah.
makes like 15 million a year from YouTube or something.
Well, he has 102 million subscribers.
Right.
He has the most subscribers
But he
on
started way back then.
Oh yeah, he was
yeah.
huge.
He
He's
looks
still
so
huge
different.
now, and even though he doesn't even do anything actively, I think it was like on a. I think he got married and went on a long
YouTube.
hiatus.
He got a lot of views on his
but
marriage.
yeah, it's like he's raking in tons of money by just living his
There's-
life.
Just
there's-
existing. Now.
There's
Yeah.
news articles that write like he was taking a break, and people are saying PewDiePie's quitting YouTube. Like everyone's,
Yo, it doesn't matter. He fucking said the N word during a stream, and he's still like super fucking.
everybody.
popular.
But his life is viewed on a microscope. Everyone's always watching.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
but
Well,
if you're
that's
getting
his
15
choice.
million a
He
year-
puts it out there.
Look,
That's
man.
true.
Look, man. He said even if his life is looking at a microscope, it doesn't matter. He says whatever, and then he still has legions of
no
fans,
one's
right?
leaving.
Yeah.
So
No one's leaving him.
yeah, it doesn't. It's not like he has to watch what he says
He's
necessarily
actually
anymore.
one of the better YouTubers. Like he's pretty, like.
I
don't
remember
know,
when I
compared to
watched-
others, he's the better one.
Compared
When
to
I watched
what?
some of his older stuff, like super old stuff, he was really annoying.
Just yelling. And
Oh, there's
But
more
no, because
annoying
I think
guys
it's
now.
more like catering to kids and stuff.
He's
so
still the
doing annoying
same.
voices.
He still
No,
yells and
I
shit.
watched some of his more recent stuff, and he's toned it down a lot more.
If
So
you,
he's more tolerable.
if you look at like other ones like Jake Paul and like Logan Paul, those are
Yeah,
worse.
but they're
like,
at
That's-
the
that's
bottom.
That's just they just
no,
like,
They're just
the
human
up and
cancer.
coming.
I know, but they're at the
cancer.
bottom of humanity.
They're at
Yeah,
the bottom.
the
Yeah.
bottom.
So it's not like it's not necessarily. Oh, anybody's better streamers than them.
That's fair enough.
Fuck
They're
sakes.
big and they make money. That's the
The
problem.
one I really like, I like Mark Rober. He's the NASA engineer that like does YouTube.
Oh yeah.
see.
He did a recent one with the trampoline. Like he wanted to bounce a car off a trampoline. That was awesome.
Right there, I'm interested in that because you said NASA engineer. But anything else? Logan Paul, Jake Paul. I heard one of those idiots is trying to do. He's setting up like a kind of like a subscription thing.
Oh no,
Where
that's a
you-
scam though.
Yeah,
Like
where you
where
pay,
you
where you
become
pay
rich.
where you pay him $20 and he's gonna imbue with you with his life lessons of how to get rich
Yeah.
and how to do this
It was,
and how to set up how to monetize stuff and all that.
and someone paid for it, and they went through it, and it's like all stuff you could get for free anyways.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
But
Well,
he targets like 14-year-old kids, so of course
But it
they're
wasn't-
gonna be like, oh yeah, sure.
I don't even think it was him. I think someone came up with a scam. Say, oh, we'll pay you to just make a video.
It doesn't matter. It's just they're fucking terrible. That's
Well,
the
it's
whole
like that-
fucking point.
He's affiliated.
That-
He's the one whose face is on there, right?
it's
That's
that
true.
girl, like that girl, the girl that sold bath water.
Oh, that's
for, like-
Delphine.
Yeah, like she
Her own
sold
bath
so
water?
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's just sitting in a bathtub, fills a little jar of bath
She was
water,
kinda
and mails
smart,
that
though,
out for like
'cause-
$20 a bottle.
Because before that video about the bathwater, she tweeted saying like she was gonna go on Pornhub, and then she made these like troll Pornhub videos.
Yeah.
Where
but
she doesn't actually do anything, I bet.
Yeah.
there's
where she did
bathwater.
nothing.
There's chicks that sell their underwear and socks on.
But that takes more, like bathtub. She just literally sits in a bathtub and makes multiple sales off that one tub. So that's how you get more money.
It just shows you how messed up our system is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, there are some people that are trying to do good. Like Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
he tries to do good, even though a lot of his videos are also kind of outrageous.
He tries to do good, even though a lot of his videos
Well, his
are
last
exactly
one was,
the
like,
same shit
eating
as the
really,
other one.
expensive food, like the most expensive pizza where they put like gold flakes on,
Yeah.
and like the most ridiculous like beef and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh my god, it's all worthless. It's
It is.
it's
It
all
is.
just smoke and mirrors and just absolutely worth nothing.
But it's just funny how much money is going towards these people.
Yeah, and
that
none
do
towards
nothing,
us.
But
and
there's the
not
kids.
towards people who
It's the kids.
who actually.
It's not just
make a
kids.
difference.
I think it's
It's
just
not.
it's everybody. It's people with the
If
money
you-
to spend will spend that
Yeah,
shit.
if you look
over
at
there.
like going back to like Chatterbait and stuff, that makes tons of money,
Yeah.
and it's like Ideally, all
I
adults.
wonder how much mukbang makes.
Like, I can't believe.
Depends who you are.
I can't believe we live in a world where Kylie Jenner is a billionaire.
Yeah, there's something fucked like
It's just because
The-
she's attractive.
Yeah.
if you think
And
about
you're rich,
if you
too.
think about money is supposed to assign value to stuff, right now it's just all out of whack. It's completely fucked, and people. It's the same idea of someone paying like $500,000 to buy a banana taped to a wall, just because whatever
Oh, yeah,
artist
that was,
made
That
it.
was ridiculous.
Right?
Just because one person did that, it's like
It's literally it's just because one party has too much money, more than they can even deal with, know what to do with it, and is just buying something they think is quirky. Just for that there's no the use value is like non-existent, and it's just all fucking just people just exchanging this shit.
We're at that stage of our civilization, that stage of decadence, where we have way too much and not know.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the stage that comes after.
Yeah. No. It's fucking warning signs, right? That's the whole fucking point.
I mean, before the Romans declined,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly the same.
Greeks, Egyptians,
Yeah.
everything, every
And that was on a smaller scale too, because
Yeah.
there's no like internet, there's no like just big mass amounts of people that are intercommunicating with each other and all
Right.
that shit.
We are
So-
seeing a little bit that now. Like you're talking about like a revolt, right?
No,
No, I'm talking about
he's talking. Well, eventually,
The
that's
revolt will
the
happen
hints
after
it's
the
going
next
towards.
stage.
But he's talking about like the absolute it's basically what they call like wasted value, right? Like, like in economics, you got like a use value of something, or you have an equivalent value, and like they're supposed to represent each other, right? The price is supposed to represent the value, but then you get something like fucking banana taped to a wall, $500,000. Obviously, the value is not represented, right? So you're just getting a whole bunch of. It's just pure fucking decadence that is just driving a whole bunch of shit, and it's,
like 90% of our economy is running on decadence. Like, do you really need like all this streaming, YouTube and
yeah.
influencers and
Entertainment.
gamers and all
Yeah.
that stuff? We don't need it as a civilization to thrive. Or
Yeah.
survive.
But you see, you can't. The people that are going there, they're going there because they're seeing that as an avenue to like fucking live and do something, right? Because there's there's barely anything else out there, and then they see this as an avenue to go and be like, hey, like I can be someone on YouTube and make a living and do something I love and blah 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 blah.
Isn't
blah.
this like that book that was made by? I don't remember what that book was, but the movie was made based on this book. It was about like
what
games
is
and stuff.
either
That
called?
narrows it down a lot,
What is
yo.
the book and or movie called?
What was it called? Okay, I can only describe it. It was like a futuristic world, and then they live in this. Their world is like all like crippled and stuff, so everyone just goes into the cyber world.
Elysium?
No.
They have like it's all like references to like
Oh, the freaking Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, yeah, where they're all like they all like what do you call pray to these like icons and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they relate it to like religion, right? Whereas
Right.
like it's like the same as religion, and like we're talking about like gamers and stuff. We're almost kind of getting to that level.
Well, that's where we're going, and that's just a world of just everybody's online. Like,
Yeah.
that was Ready Player One. Everybody's online, and you're just stuck in the memories of whatever you loved. People, if you loved 80s shit, you can find
Yeah.
80s stuff.
But I think it's in the book. I think they were talking about the ideal, like how we idolize people
Right.
or idolize items, right?
Yeah.
And like we are idolizing these gamers and stuff.
Yes.
Kind of like how we're idolizing, in a sense, religion.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It is. You are making idols of just people. Like people like to do exactly as you said, and start worshiping this kind of stuff.
and that's how Kylie Jenner made $1 billion.
Yeah.
People worship her, of
People
course.
worship her.
So we worship
People
her.
even were donating to her to help her get to $1 billion.
Yeah. It's
I
like
want people to do that for
People
me.
who don't
They don't worship you.
They
who
should.
barely have
I'm
enough
better than
money
her in some
to
aspects.
feed themselves or to get through the month themselves, because they love her so much, we're donating to her so that she'd get to $1 billion.
The fucked up thing is,
It's just
she
a
accepted
modern-
it.
it's like our modern. But that's the crazy thing. Well, at least those people pay taxes, right? Because like religion doesn't
Ideally.
pay taxes.
You think?
You think
Fuck.
Like if we worship religion and we like donate money, they don't pay taxes. At least the streamers pay taxes.
What
They
the?
do, how much do they spend?
Sure, like okay, sure.
not
Streamers
sure.
pay taxes. Sure.
At least they pay something. That's
Sure.
what it is.
But let me ask you this: would it be ideal that everybody in the world should just be a streamer now, and that's it?
Pay their
And we're-
taxes?
Like, where the fuck does the money even come from at that point?
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be hilarious.
I mean, that's where it's going. Like, where is it going to all
That's
come
what
from?
we're headed to. Like you just said, kids have aspirations of instead of being a doctor or even a rock star. At least a rock star is still a much better.
Yeah, you have to
use.
learn music. Have
It is kind of
talent.
dumb that we worship these people, and it's like, for what talent? Like, what are they providing to society?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And now we have kids, like you said, that want to be streamers or influencers when they grow up. What the fuck is an influencer? What are you influencing? Absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should start a podcast instead.
I want to be an influencer. I think I've said that multiple times on other episodes too.
I mean,
but
we are, right? We have a Twitter account. We have listeners. We have followers.
yeah,
Yeah, we didn't do this thinking that we'd become it. This is just a fucking hobby to
I mean,
have
down,
our little mini boomer rants.
down the road,
No,
we might get super popular. And we might.
I wouldn't say no to it. That's what I'll say.
exactly.
I know we joke about it, but I'm happy with the way it is right now.
I will
don't
get
care.
I will get sponsored, and in those sponsored episodes every day I'll be like, this is heading towards the toilet. This is heading
Because it's
toward
verbal laxative.
absolute fucking just
Head to your
diarrhea.
nearest
It's like,
Toto
why,
toilet.
why do we have so many followers? Why?
Yeah, our title was very prescient. It's all getting flushed right down. That's where we're going. What?
We don't have money. we have negative money from this.
Yes, of course. This is you're paying for a hobby, basically.
Yeah. Oh, that's like most.
But
hobbies.
it's fun, and we started as a hobby. We didn't start it as a hey, we're gonna be influencers.
Yeah, I'm not-
People are gonna listen to us.
I'm
and
not
they're
banking
now
on being famous
There,
at all.
there was no, like, there was no goal of actually making this a huge thing. If it does, that'd be great, but that's not why we were doing
For
this.
me, it was with us was to talk shit.
We just hang out and talking shit and recording.
Yeah, and for me, it was just maybe I'd learn how to speak. and
Yeah.
not be so freaking quiet all the time.
It's
That was
helped.
your,
It has helped your
Toastmaster.
professional career.
That was my
It's
main
professional
goal.
training.
This is your Toastmaster.
Exactly.
This is the uncensored Toastmaster. Toastmaster's a piece of shit because you can't say what you want. Over here, you can say what you want.
Yeah. Even the thing about black people, what'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Was it?
Get this on record here.
It was B Money that said it. But he should be down with.
Well, I said they were
He should be
easily
down with all.
identifiable in Love Is Blind.
Well, if you're gonna survive in Baltimore, you gotta start fucking identifying with them, right? Man, you wanna relive The Wire, you gotta learn that shit.
Yeah. I don't know. The show is probably wouldn't watch it alone, but if you have a girlfriend, it's not a bad show to watch.
Oh, they
But you already watched
Which show?
The Wire.
Love
What?
Is Blind.
Oh,
Love
I
Is
thought you were
Blind,
talking
yeah.
about The Wire.
Not The Wire.
like-
As soon as he said, especially as a girlfriend, definitely it wasn't The Wire.
I don't know.
That's why I was confused.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know any
he's watched
girlfriends
it.
who would sit through Wire.
No.
They would get so bored after like 10 minutes of it. They'd be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah. Yeah, but at least you know what all which we were talking about earlier when we were talking about like a dystopian future where it's like a company or companies that own everything, or it feels like Ready Player One where everybody logs on to do
To
whatever.
another world, essentially.
Yeah. At least, well, the bright side is it won't turn out like that because bad news. It would all fucking come crashing down before anything like that would ever happen.
Yeah.
So the bright side, you won't be living in that future.
Well, the weird thing about Ready Player One is everyone was playing the game, and they're like, they got the helmet on, gloves, and everything, but there's still people on the streets like that. Like, what the hell are they doing? They're walking outside in the streets, like where there's still cars and stuff, and they're just like in the suits.
Yeah, this is where it's like people can't conceptualize. They can't conceptualize what it means fully to be like that. They can only get what they know and what they've experienced in their life now, and try to project that onto that. So, in that they think that like, oh yeah, it's normal, fucking cars and driving and shit. It doesn't make sense. In that world, it would never logically. It
No
doesn't
one
even
would
come
be
up.
driving.
No.
No.
Well, it's like, why would you be on the streets? Why don't you go home and play?
Yeah.
Why would you be doing that on the street?
Yeah.
Speaking of Ready Player One, the sucked.
Isn't
movie
it a
wasn't that
series?
great.
It was
Sucked.
the easiest book I've ever
All right, we got authoritative fucking
You read the
source
book,
from
right?
here.
Yeah.
If you say it sucks, then it sucks. It's garbage then. It's
I really
garbage.
like the movie just because they had so much like references and stuff.
Nostalgic characters.
Well, yeah, like just from games and everything from all over.
I think that's what they were.
I
That's what
found
the
it
selling
amazing
point.
they even had the rights to do all of
The
that.
selling
That's
point for the
crazy.
movie.
From Warner Brothers though.
If
That's
it-
why.
It's from like everything. Like they had
No,
Blizzard.
no, but the
they-
one who made the movie,
Oh, I don't remember.
I think they were it's like Warner's or something, so they had a lot of the rights.
What are you gonna say?
if you ever find yourself wanting to read a shitty book,
Yeah, no. No.
I think you should. So at least I can commiserate with somebody.
I just commiserate now. It's a shit. I can already guess why it's so shitty.
Well, it's funny because like when you think
You don't have to put me through it.
But
Well, you're done Wheel of Time, so you might as well read something.
people who read books,
Yeah, well, Wheel
they
of Time was
only-
good.
they only read books they like or they know is good,
Exactly.
but they don't read bad books. But movies is different. People will watch movies
Oh,
knowing that it's shitty.
this is very true because I don't know. Is this the medium of text? It's just the same. So it's like, oh, this is
more
a
of
shit.
commitment, right?
But
Like,
I
why
would
you waste your
I
time?
love watching shitty movies. That's like any movie made by you, Bull. Oh my god! If you ever have time to watch shitty movies, just watch any movie made by you, Uwe Boll or whatever. Uweboll. That guy makes the fucked up movies to the point where it's like art. You got like In the Name of the King with Jason Statham in it.
Oh right, those movies.
Yeah, and then ninjas came out of nowhere, flying ninjas. Set in medieval Europe, mind you. Where else? His best one was Postal, I think, but that was actually, it wasn't really that shitty. That was actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it's with books. It's a commitment. You're actually reading, like you're taking time out. With a movie, it's 2 hours.
Yeah,
whatever,
but the B movies are so enjoy. Yeah, you don't have like a B book, right?
yeah.
It's just garbage, no matter how you look at it.
It's
But
like horror movies. Like you can watch these B.
Yeah,
movies,
B-rated
Like,
mo-
oh, they're fun to
well,
watch.
not rated
like,
B movies.
Fake blood and stuff, but like you don't want to read a shitty. horror.
Oh,
I mean, if you're like a super fast reader, then maybe.
yeah,
but
maybe you just
I'm not
flip the
there.
page, you're done. Well, that
I
was a
like being
shit.
a super fast reader because I want the words in the story to sink in.
Yeah, and if the words
Yeah,
are garbage,
I'm super
just
slow.
it's just the grease over your brain.
When we were watching Game of Thrones, we're like, "This is the worst season ever." We're still watching it.
Well, it's like because we committed so much time already.
That too.
That was like a book because you had given your 7 years of your life to it.
Yeah.
But I bet, like,
Yeah, see, you would want to watch that. Like, this is Japanese B movies, Machine Girl. Fucking, there's a scene where it's like, it's just completely ridiculous. Like,
Oh,
she's
it's-
fighting the main boss, bad guy, whatever, cuts off his legs, and then he's like, oh, you thought you defeated me? And then he takes something that makes his blood squirt even more. So then it's enough to propel him and levitate him to continue fighting. You don't want to read that in a book.
But he only has 7 liters.
Doesn't matter. It's a B movie. It's a B movie.
they didn't.
He took something that made it propel, so it probably made him mass-produce blood.
Yeah, so he's
Does
just
that
like
explain it?
it's like one of those water jets that you can fly up, except it's all just blood from his stumps, so he can fight again.
Yeah, no, me, even with movies, I try to watch the ones that I think will be good.
See, not just movies. Like my friend, he'll watch bad TV series. No
Oh
one gets
god,
it.
that's a
I'm just like, wow, yeah,
I can't even do that with like so TV series.
yeah.
Like,
See, for me, even movies, if it's bad, I just stop watching. I'm like, this is really bad, and I just stop watching. Or TV series.
there have been some bad movies I remember that I just in the theater I couldn't finish it.
You would leave.
Yeah,
Have
there
you
was
left a movie before?
yes I have.
Like
It
you
was,
paid for the movie.
I paid for me and my buddy, Billy. He was on the show before. We watched this shark movie, and it was
Sharknado?
no.
actually, that was entertaining.
That would have been an improvement over this
Anna
movie.
one.
Nope. No. It's an
3D
old movie, and it was
Triple D?
no. It's an old movie. The plot was just this couple goes to go swimming or scuba diving. They get lost from the main tourist crowd. They're owned by themselves, and then sharks are coming in, and it's like it's kind of like it's like a slow burn thriller. At the end, obviously they get taken by the sharks, but that was just the whole movie. And then we walked out after.
I've never walked out, but I've fallen asleep at movies.
Yeah, well, that could, if you're tired or whatever.
No,
Why?
not tired. Just, like, check out and be like, I'd rather sleep.
Actually, I did that with Detective Pikachu. I fell asleep on that one.
Detective.
That wasn't a bad
Pikachu?
movie though.
I fell asleep.
No, that movie we walked out.
I
It
mean,
was-
the twist was he's half black.
Pikachu's half black.
No, the
Yeah,
main character was
Pikachu's-
half black.
That's not a
Because the whole time, what is a twist? You didn't know
That's
his,
not a twist.
you didn't know his father was white. Which was
Why does
Ryan
that
Reynolds.
matter? If you
It didn't matter. I'm just saying it's a twist.
Wait, Ryan Reynolds was his father,
Yeah,
and he voiced Pikachu.
yeah. His
It's explained
father-
in the movie.
Yeah, I was explaining the movie. You didn't watch the movie. Oh, sorry, I ruined the twist.
No, that's okay.
You gotta find out. He's half black.
What a twist!
This whole time, I can't believe it.
Well, there be spoilers for, or there was just spoilers for Detective Pikachu.
Yes. Warning. It's too late to
Warning.
warn. Yeah.
Yeah, if you think, yeah, okay, if that's a twist, then sure.
Um,
Did you know he has a mixed parenthood?
the bad movie that I watched recently was another Ryan Reynolds, Six Underground. With
Oh, that's
Oh,
on
is that the
Netflix
one where
the
he's stuck in the
Michael Bay
coffin?
one?
Oh,
No,
That's
it's like
buried. The one he was
that's
stuck in.
buried.
this is like a action. This is an action
Yeah.
movie, right?
This is Michael Bay's
Yeah.
attempt at out Michael Baying himself. He looked in the mirror one day. He's like, "Who the?"
I'm going to defeat you. I'm going to surpass you.
It has to be done.
He looked at himself and he's like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?"
I'm the real Michael Bay.
Yeah.
When does the NPC movie come out where Ryan Reynolds is an
Free
NPC?
Guy?
Yeah.
That's this year, I think.
Holy
sometime.
shit, that's
want to
yours,
watch
bro.
Actually looks good.
Yes, I want to see.
Do you think it's gonna be a bad movie, or you think it'll be a good movie? And
I
that's why you
think
wanna
it'll
see
be entertaining.
it? Oh, okay.
Like, it should be funny. The concept of it sounds funny enough. I don't know much else about it, so yeah. I don't know. I'll watch it.
But like Sharknado was a movie that was critically bad. People know it's bad, but everyone went to watch it because they knew
They know
how
it's
bad it
bad.
was.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
And
yeah.
and it made a lot of money. And then
People-
that's why they made spin off like Ghost Shark. and
There's
stuff.
a genre. There's a whole bunch of people that want to
Yeah.
watch shitty movies. They love it.
Like Sharknado was a movie I watched twice. No, I never paid to watch it, but the first time I watched it, I was alone, and I was like, it's pure crap. It's garbage. The second time I watched it with friends, and it's like
It's
way
very
more enjoyable, you
It's
know?
very
No,
enjoyable.
bad
Like stupid comments,
enjoyable
laugh,
with
and everything.
friends.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
It's the only way to enjoy
And also
it.
like mushrooms and stuff.
I
What?
wouldn't know, but
No.
please go on.
You also
I
like
see.
what?
He's talking about like
Oh, like
shiitake mushrooms or something.
paraphernalia.
Oh,
Not like truffles or anything.
wait. You've taken mushrooms before,
No,
so you like it?
I would. No, I haven't taken it. I haven't
But you
taken
said you liked it.
it. I would assume it makes it better. Movies.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like Pineapple Express, I heard is really great if you're high.
Yeah, but that's
Because the
weed
movie's about
is what
being
it's
high.
implied.
Yeah,
It's
you taking
about
some
weed.
mushrooms. You're not.
'Cause
Whatever
Pineapple
the fuck's
Express is
blaring from
a
that screen will mess
strand
you
or
up
whatever
anyway.
they call it.
Fuck's sakes.
All right.
I hear
Any-
Brian also likes movies on LSD too.
Oh, you should take the what is that super drug that Joe Rogan always wants people to take? I was gonna say PCP. That's not it. That's not. It's not angel. No. It's that we had the episode with the crystal elves.
Right?
Yeah.
Super long time ago.
Yeah. What was that drug that he was all raving
Was that
about?
the bath salt?
I don't remember.
No.
I really don't remember. That was way too long
Ah, fuck.
ago. That's gonna bug you.
Maybe our viewers will tell us.
No, I'm gonna search it up right now.
Yes. If you know on wait, this isn't even live. So
Oh, actually.
in 3 weeks, tell us if you know the answer.
You guys should watch a really good movies that are on Netflix right now. Good Times and Uncut Gems.
DMT.
Okay.
That's the fucking drug.
Keep that in mind.
Oh god.
For when you meet your guy.
People were just if anybody was listening to this, they were probably yelling it while they were listening.
Yes,
in
our
the future.
audience, our massive audience of
Yo,
3
you
people.
know, like I get these comments all the time, just usually from after people listen to Brian, but it's like yelling as they're listening. No, that's not fucking right.
I think it's fair to say, at least in this episode, we've all been terribly wrong about something.
Oh, we
where we said
definitely
something
have.
that would cause outrage.
See, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, if we do become famous, I'll be getting tweets all the time saying like, "That's not right. You said this."
that
and
would be the least of my problems.
Yeah, no, you know what? I would tell
I don't
everybody
care about tweets.
if you have any complaints at all, send it to Brian@gmail.com or whatever the fuck.
Oh, you gotta send it to the
Oh,
verbal.
man, you
Last
got
Minute
the
Twitter.
Brian email?
You gotta send it to the verbal.
The
Last
B
Minute.
money. No. That'll just
Oh,
go
really?
straight to your own personal B money email.
Yes. Send
We'll
it
make you
to
one if you don't have one.
at B Money. There you go.
Yeah, I don't actually have a social media. With
No, just go
money
with
in
it so that they don't know.
Yeah,
it.
well,
be
you
nice.
need to be
They'll
there.
think they're tweeting you, but it'll
You're
be some
gonna-
other dude. It's like, why are people mad?
Or what if it becomes famous and he's like, wow, at least the new thought became a thought.
You're not gonna be a thought though.
Oh,
Why would you be a thought?
never mind.
You don't qualify as a thought.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, you ever dance for money online? No, you ever
You don't know his
Wow.
private life.
you ever had
When I was younger,
someone tell you what to wear online?
when I was younger, I wanted to get really good at DDR, so I could put a cup there, and people would like drop a
Busking
quarter.
for DDR.
Has anyone ever done that? Do people make money off DDR?
No, it'll be impossible.
No, that would be hilarious.
Absolutely impossible. Because first of all, if you're in the arcade playing DDR, the last thing people want to do is drop fucking change.
At you, but they could use other trades.
And if you're just doing this out on the street, people won't know what the fuck you're
Just doing the DDR dance just on the street. No music. Yeah, no music, nothing.
Or it would be full music, also with the commentator saying like, "Keep it up, you're doing great." Explosive.
People are just like, what the fuck is this? The last thing that comes to their head is like, oh my god, he must be coming out of hard times.
They'll think you're on drugs.
They would hope that he'd be on drugs, because what they would be afraid of, it would be like this: if this man is completely sober and he's doing this, what does that say about me? I'm so scared. That's what. No.
Okay, we'll start our video venture by you doing that. I'll take a video of it and post it.
Right when you take your wire trip to Baltimore, just do DDR on the streets.
All proceeds from the DDR video will go towards his trip to
treatment for
Baltimore.
gunshot wounds in Baltimore.
It's
All
the
right.
States. You'll need it.
Did you want to close out? Anybody got anything else they wanted to get off their chest?
I read about magenta. It's not a real color.
Oh God.
Oh my god. I have to poo.
Don't buy anything magenta. It's not a real color.
Actually, also the color brown. There's a controversy.
I
fuck did
disagree.
you just say?
I can show you after I go to the
What
washroom.
would be the
Okay.
controversy?
Actually,
The
it might be
controversy
green.
about color brown is it's just a dark orange. We labeled brown for dark orange.
No.
So then, purple is just a blue or red.
No, specifically brown. It's just a dark orange. Like if you look at if you were
What
trying
day
to
did you actually? I have a question. What day did you get really hardcore into these like color spectrum things?
Spectrum things. Magenta. For some reason, it just kept popping in my newsfeed. Like they were keep telling me magenta
Feed
is
us
not real.
this.
Because magenta isn't a real color, right? Because it's something we made up.
There's
Because
cyan. Then.
We named all the colors.
no, but if you look at the visual spectrum, like that creates a color, right? And it's all wavelength, so it goes from red being
Roy
the
G.
weakest,
Biv.
weakest wavelength to violet, which is like the highest wavelength, right? Magenta is when you wrap around the violet to red, and between that is magenta, right? But
Okay.
the color wheel isn't a wheel; it's supposed to be a line.
Holy
so
shit.
That will never link in real life. So magenta would never exist in the.
He's just saying magenta isn't. It doesn't actually exist in real life. Our brains create it.
Yeah, we
from two
created
shades.
magenta.
That's what
Brains
happened.
created all the colors.
Colors.
Sure, but you could represent that color as a wavelength. Magenta doesn't have a wavelength because
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's what he
exist in
says.
nature.
That's it. Your brain does a little bit of a trick where
Yeah.
it takes two
You
colors.
know,
and
other
mixes it.
creatures can see more colors than us too, right?
Sure,
So
that
it's
means-
possible that they can see
but
magenta.
they may.
Maybe for them, magenta is real.
But
yeah.
magenta is just unique because we made it up. That it doesn't. There's no wavelength or frequency you could represent it as, because in nature it wouldn't exist.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? This would actually make more sense if we talked about this rather than just if numbers were real. I'll fill that.
Are colors real?
Because this one, you could actually say, yeah, magenta's not real because
Well,
there's no wavelength for blah blah
I mean,
blah blah blah.
yeah, you're right. Like red is what we call red, but at least it has a physical or a physics representation, like a wavelength and a frequency, right? Because it comes from light, and you can represent light as a wave.
You want to just
and color as
represent
a
it
wave.
differently.
But you
RGB, you just assign it a number for each one. There you go.
But that's the
There's-
thing, magenta, you can't assign a number.
Yeah, you can. RGB, you just assign each number to each
No,
value,
because
and then you get the color.
If I'm asking, okay, so if red was 0,
That's how you do it in like Photoshop or something.
if red is 0 and violet is 10, what is magenta? Assuming that like because it's a line. You're like real life. It's a line, right? So you have from
Yeah, I get what you're
lower
trying to
mass.
say,
You
but I'm
can
saying you
wrap it.
don't have to limit colors by a wavelength. There can be more to it.
Right.
Technically, we could see almost an infinite number of colors.
So can you make up a color that we can see? But
yeah, it's called
doesn't-
Glurbin.
Yeah,
It's-
magenta.
It's a mix of
What is this Glurbin?
Glurbin's like a magenta greenish.
It's just one of those
Like-
gotcha things that you should delete this news feed.
But anyway,
It's a gotcha news feed.
once I saw magenta, then brown came up,
Oh,
and
fuck.
someone was making an argument that brown is just a dark orange.
Who are making these arguments?
yeah,
Which
and black is just a dark white.
No, brown's a shade. It's a shade of orange, is what the argument is.
but
Because you can.
it does
Yes,
exist, right?
It's
It
on
does
the
exist.
spectrum because it's part of orange.
Okay.
So you take orange and then you just
Now we're just being
add a
color.
shade.
Now we're just being color elitists.
We're giving
Same,
colors.
same thing with purple. If you take red and you shove a little
But
blue into it,
yeah,
you get
no, we're not talking about purple. We're talking about magenta. Magenta is specifically a
right,
color
but
that
not
doesn't
when
exist.
when you were talking about brown, you weren't talking about magenta.
No, I'm just gonna say.
No, brown is not. Brown exists. I'm not saying brown is not like magenta where it does
I
not
believe
exist.
all colors have equal rights.
Brown exists. It's just that we categorize brown as dark orange. Like,
No, we categorize it as brown.
yeah, we took dark orange.
Somebody
the color
just-
of dark orange, and we call it brown.
Somebody was
That's what I'm
just
saying.
too much time on their hands wants to
pink.
classify it as
like
dark
pink is
orange.
just a lighter red, right?
But no one's calling it a lighter red.
No,
Yeah, no one calls it a lighter red. So,
that-
brown is just a lighter orange or
Darker.
darker orange. Sorry.
But no one is calling it a darker orange. It's
Yeah,
called
we
brown.
call it brown now. Yeah,
Wow, what
That's
a
right.
revelation!
exactly.
It's just a complete.
But magenta is unique in the sense it doesn't exist, but we call it
This believe it or not, there's an old story in Chinese. It's a historic thing where, like, they actually gave this a whole explanation for this completely pedantic sort of like talk, and it was basically two guys, and this is a very like snotty philosophical old ancient school. Two guys that were arguing about a horse. And then one guy said, and it's just as pedantic as the whole color magenta brown thing. And it was basically like, okay, it's like, is a white horse and a black horse different? Or are they the same? One guy said, and the other guy said, obviously they're the same, they're a horse. And the other guy was saying, well, no, obviously it's different because that was a white horse, but you can't call it a black horse. Ergo, it's not a horse anymore. And it just went on like that in like B money fashion, like 2,000 years ago.
So that was the
That was their magenta is not a color,
that
but
was the
brown should
first
be a dark
example of
orange.
a verbal laxative podcast.
Not a verbal laxative.
It was
It was an example
his
of it's
ancestors.
B Money's ancestor. It was. They had a whole name for that school too. And then I remember when one of the kingdoms finally united, like the whole country. They're like, you see how we won? It's because we didn't have assholes like that deciding everything. We just fucking went over and conquered everybody. We didn't need to know if the horse was black horse or a white horse or whether it could be a horse depending on his color.
Would you call a zebra a black horse?
It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. Is like it doesn't matter.
Fine. Because some people would think it's a white horse with black stripes.
Look, just
Or
a
is it
complete
black
revival
horse
of that
with black
argument.
stripes?
You can't get it out of you. I swear to God, this is one of your ancestors. And now we're seeing the same thing again in the year 2020. Thank God we live in peaceful times right now. Knock on wood. As long as this lasts.
we're in peaceful times.
As long as this lasts, you can still have these things.
Comparatively, yeah, I think it's still peaceful.
Well, we're living as peaceful. That other place is not so peaceful, obviously.
Yeah.
If we were living in Yemen right now, we wouldn't be recording a podcast.
Well, we'd be talking about different things.
We would be talking about
If we
different
were
things.
quarantined like Hubei, would we still record? I guess through
We
online.
would just do it online. Everybody's like, you know what I don't get about that? It's like everybody, the people out here, like if you get your news out here, it's like a completely, it's all for them. It's almost like opaque. It's like, can we trust these numbers? Can we trust any of that? And then it's like, bitch, like everybody's at home, everybody's streaming, everybody's fucking on TikTok and everything. Like you can see what's happening over there. Just as easily as you can see what's happening here. Anyways, shall we wrap this shit up?
Sure.
Yes, apologies once again for the hiatus due to technical difficulties, but thanks for tuning in once again to this crap.
Well, knock on wood. I mean, we might lose this too, like how we lost